foundation. Make a name for generations, please, and make a, then take a break or a little vacation and chasing blues away. Hey, hey. You always posting up pictures, trying to look like you winning, or look like you always be working, soaking the moments you live in. Yeah, you got the nerve to be on me, shaking your life for the IG. If you got my number, don't add me, 'cause baby, I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. Baby, don't check for me. Taking time out to be and live my life off screen. Taking time out to be and live my life. I'm in a place serene and pure and free. Hey, I ain't worried about what's the wave, only worry about me. Yeah. Oh, I'm taking time out to be and live my life off screen. Taking time out to
Let me go for one day. Let me lose myself again. Give me something for the pain. Always trying to pretend that I'm not living just a lie. Broken heart and shattered lives. Let me go for one day. Let me lose myself. Oh, I knew how this would end. Oh, I knew that it would die, that we would come to this, that we would say goodbye. Someone help me see it. Someone help me free this feeling. Someone help me see it. Someone help me free this feeling. Don't wanna think about the past. I'm crying out behind a mask. So give me something for the pain. I wanna lose myself again. Please get out of my mind. Just get out of my sight. Let me go for one day. Let me lose myself. Oh, I knew how this would end. How I knew that it would die, that we would come to this, that we would say goodbye. Someone help me see it. Someone help me free this feeling. Someone help me free this feeling. Someone help me see it. Someone help me free this feeling. Someone help me see it. Someone help me free this feeling.
I've been thinking about you. Oh yeah. Oh, there ain't no one else that does the things that you do to me. That's why I get nervous. I try to be cool, but you see me the right way. Oh, and I see you too. just wanna call, see if we're okay, babe. All I wanna ask you is, I don't wanna push you farther away, no. I don't wanna play no games. I just wanna call, see if we're okay, babe. All I wanna ask you is, are you down for love? Are you up for wanna be together, be together? Babe, I want your love. I'll be the one you trust. You're all that matters, all that matters. I got feelings about you. Oh yeah, butterflies every time I'm with you. Oh yeah, I don't wanna push you farther away, no. I don't wanna play no games. I just wanna call, see if we're okay, babe. All I wanna ask you is, I don't wanna push you farther away, no. I don't wanna play no games. I just wanna call, see if we're okay, babe. All I wanna ask you is, are you down for love? Are you up for wanna be together, be together? Babe, I want your love. I'll be the one you trust. You're all that matters, all that matters. Are you down for love? Are you up for wanna be together, be I wanna be Babe, I want your love, your love. I'll be the one you trust. You're all that matters.
No matter what we go through, love will still remain. So do what you want, baby. You and me in the sun. Know that I'll still be here when the day is done. So come a little bit closer, and I'll tell you what I feel inside. You know I'm gonna wait on you. I'm gonna wait on you. You know I'm gonna wait on you. Yes, I'm gonna wait on you. No one's gonna love you like I do. So glad that I found you. You're the missing piece, the last piece of the puzzle. I'm finally at ease. So when times are rough and the promises we make just seem so hollow and weak, and we're about to break, we have to remind ourselves, 'cause we know how we feel inside. You know I'm gonna wait on you. Ain't over till it's over. I'm gonna wait on you.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
The day is Wednesday, August 11th, 2021. Thanks so much for joining us. I am on location, and you see the on the screen now the images of what we are covering. I have been in the field covering the Amazon workers delivery drivers, who have had to urinate into bottles in order to get our packages delivered to us in time. We talked about this week. And as we were sleeping last night, trying to recover from this, David, I need to say something at the top of the show, and then it may sound dramatic, but we're going to go through the piece of legislation that, or this amendment from Josh Hawley that they passed while we were sleeping, folks, that I believe to be the most racist amendment in my lifetime, not in America's lifetime, because that's maybe an insurmountable bar. But in my lifetime, I have never seen the Democratic Party signed up with the Republicans to the tune of, I believe, 95 yays on this amendment that is going to put 100,000 new Derek Chauvins in our communities. You're looking at Dick Durbin, senator, who joined in last night and endorsed this amendment from Hawley as a trade-off. Black people were betrayed last night, and we'll begin to unpack why that was. But I first have to help show you why I believe this is the most racist amendment in my lifetime. And because that's a big claim, we're going to take it piece by piece by piece. And if I am wrong at the end of this episode, y'all tell me, and I will back off. But I got a sneaky suspicion I'm right, because I already checked with some people before I started the show. David, let's run this clip of Josh Hawley, the one that we're looking at now. This is the senator from Missouri. He is a reactionary. He is the evolution of Donald Trump. If you think negative 45 is bad, where do you get a load of this young man from the state of Missouri? Take a listen in.
That's outstanding. Let's go a step farther. Let's fund them. Let's put 100,000 new cops on the streets right now to protect our families, to protect our children. I urge a yes vote on this amendment, and I ask for the yeas and nays.
Is there a sufficient second? There appears to be.
Mr. President.
A senator from the yeas and nays are ordered.
This has been an historic day in the United States.
The senator from Illinois.
This has been a historic day in the United States Senate. We started by passing a bipartisan infrastructure bill that made history. And now the senator from Missouri is finally coming around to supporting the cops hiring program that was created by Senator Joe Biden in 1994. Since its creation, the COPS program, listen to this, has helped over 13,000 local police departments hire over 134,000 officers. We believe in it on the Democratic side. We're glad you've come around. We sent a letter to the Appropriations Committee signed by 37 Democrats for the COPS program. Do you know how many Republicans signed the letter? None. But with your amendment tonight, clearly you've come around. The Republicans are joining the Democrats in supporting Joe Biden's COPS program. You are right. We need 100,000 more police, and we stand with Joe Biden's program, and glad that you've joined us.
But before I jump off the deep end, let's dig into this amendment from Joshua Hawley from the great state of Missouri. There is an article from, his website. I need to pull up his website And I want to get a link over to you, David, because I want the audience to be able to see it. And I know we didn't get a chance to go through this, but I need you to see for yourself what Josh Hawley, what is in his amendment. Now, there's also a clip of Josh Hawley talking about this on Fox News. And I want to show you the deflection while I get this link over to David. I want to show you the deflection that he's using here. He's saying, hey, guys, look, this is something. Josh Hawley is proposing 100,000 new cops on the street. Well, we can't find ourselves agreeing with a Republican, not for real. So let's go back in history and find a way of justifying, oh, look, there it is. In 1994, Joe Biden had a cops program. And you know, all the good black people love Joe Biden in 2021. So they're going to automatically rewrite the fundamental history of how we understand what Joe Biden did in 1994, which was the 94 crime bill. Y'all must think we ain't got no intelligence in the black community. David, I dropped you that link. I don't know if we can get that on the screen. Do we have any other audio that I should listen to before we help me navigate to the destination, David? What do we need to do here?
Yeah, good morning. I think you mentioned it, Ben, but just for broader context, it almost appears to be a compromise. I mean, not from the Democrats. This is not new, and Durbin's outright endorsing it, but this is going to be part of the reconciliation budget bill that gets all the other things that weren't included in the quote bipartisan bill first passed. And this bigger reconciliation bill is going to be what the House insists on voting on side by side with the other bill, the smaller bill. There is a video of Biden discussing after the passing of the first bill earlier yesterday. I'm just trying to get to the letter for Dwayne. Dwayne, if you roll A1, and then we can probably go to A2.
This historic investment infrastructure is what I believe you, the American people, want. What you've been asking for a long, long time. This bill shows that we can work together. I know a lot of people, some sitting in the audience here, didn't think this could happen. That bipartisanship was a thing of the past. From the time I announced my candidacy, about bringing the country together and doing things in a bipartisan way, it was characterized as a relic of an earlier age. As you may well remember, I never believed that, and I still don't. So I want to thank those senators who worked so hard to bring this agreement together. I know it wasn't easy. For the Republicans who supported this bill, you showed a lot of courage.
Oh, no.
And I want to personally thank you for that, and I've called most of you on the phone to do just that. Where we can agree, we should. And here on this bill, we prove that we can still come together to do big things, important things for the American people. For the Democrats who supported this bill, we can be proud of this unprecedented investments that are going to transform the nation and change millions of lives for the better.
David, help us understand. And actually, no, hang on. I give us a snapshot, because I don't want to go too deep into how this connects directly to the infrastructure bill. But I think that there are some things in that connection that the audience needs to understand. So you say we're playing this and we're understanding that what happened last night was a trade-off between Josh Hawley and Dick Durbin. And it was a trade-off because Josh Hawley from the state of Missouri, the reactionary, -45 wannabe, and the evolution, he wants 100,000 new police officers to be put in black communities. Because make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, non-gender conforming individuals, they are not going into white communities. They are going into black communities. These are 100,000 new Derek Chauvins. And Dick Durbin, on behalf of the Democratic Party, made a deal. And I am assuming, David, from what you're saying in this clip, or what you're connecting here, is that trade-off wasn't connected to the infrastructure bill.
The question is how much of a trade-off it really is viewed to the White House, because this isn't really change in tune. Biden doesn't want to, obviously he really doesn't want much focus on it because it'll, further publicize the divide in the Democratic Party, at least among the progressive wing. But he's outright said multiple times that he doesn't want to defund the police. He wants to fund the police. He just wants the communities to trust in, I guess, the police they have, or however he wants to try to frame it. So I don't know if it's really a trade-off to Biden, and I can't speak on Durbin's record recently, but it does seem like it's a trade-off in the broader scheme of things, because the bill that this is getting included in, the reconciliation bill, which is, I think, 3 times or a little bit more than 3 times the size of the bipartisan bill, I don't insisting on.
Yeah, I don't want us to get caught in the weeds.
No, I just wanted to tie that together.
We most certainly are going to get into the weeds. We're going to get into the nuance of all the reconciliation and all of that. But I want to go over, are we able to do the screen share yet? If not, I will just read them. All right,
Dwayne should have it, I think.
Let's pull up that image. This is from Senator Hawley. He introduces legislative agenda to hire 100,000 new police officers, keep America families safe. Josh Hawley is a Republican from the state of Missouri. If you don't know him, he is the evolution of Donald Trump. There is no question about this. You can check your receipts from MSNBC. Your aunties who watch MSNBC know who Josh Hawley is, because MSNBC has been positioning him as the next person to be afraid of, and we should be afraid of him. And this is who Democrats just made a deal with. Senator Hawley introduces legislative agenda to hire 100,000 new police officers, keep America families safe. I am reading directly from the senator's website, hawley.senate.gov. Ahead of President Biden, actually skip down. This is I'm going to go down to, let's get to the bullet points, because I don't want you to get lost in the details yet. We will unpack the details, but here's what is in this amendment. 100,000 new law enforcement officers, a bill to provide grants to local communities to support hiring an additional 100,000 additional. That's really repetitive there. I hope they fixed that before they put it in the amendment. Enforcement officers to protect American families. What American families are protected by police officers? Because it's certainly not black families. Cue Jim Clyburn. Before the end of the day, Jim Clyburn from South Carolina is going to be ushered out onto international television to tell you that this is a great deal for black people. When in fact, this is 100,000 new Derek Chauvins. I need a wingman. I need one of the sisters. I need somebody flying with me today who can. Our DJ Exclusive would do just fine. Because y'all are not going to go into the stratosphere like Jeff Bezos and urinate on us like his truck drivers have to urinate in bottles and tell us that it's a blessing being poured down from heaven, Jim Clyburn. Not today. Not on Wednesday, August 11th, 2021. All right, let's dig in a little bit further. Protecting law enforcement in the line of duty. A bill to increase maximum penalties for assaulting federal officers by 50%. This sounds good because no one wants to assault federal officers. I guarantee you, if we unpack the definition of the word assaulting, that it's going to be something like, oh no, you breathe on me the wrong way. We already know that this is loaded language to make sure that it enhances the power of the oppressor. Protecting federal judges, prosecutors, and law enforcement officers from violence and doxing. Oh, that sounds good. I'm not even going to unpack that one yet because it'll weigh us down in this conversation. Protecting federal law enforcement officers from doxing. Here's the thing, I will say this. Law enforcement officers have no problem doxing protesters every single time. Ask Sister Andrea. I can't pronounce her last name. They will dox you as a protester, and now they're making sure that actually I do want to back up because I think that they are getting a grant. Protecting federal judges, prosecutors, and law enforcement officers from violence and doxing, a bill that directs DOJ together. I'm with this next one. Federal officers from doxing, a bill to double the penalty for doxing federal law enforcement officials and other federal officials. I agree, doxing is bad. But what are we going to do about the police officers who dox protesters And then those protesters have to find a way to hire security. There's a great imbalance in this system here. We can go through this over and over and over again, but I don't want the lead to get lost. Dick Durbin in the Democratic Senate. I need to find out the roll call. Can we get the roll call for that vote? Because I need to know exactly. We need to call them out name by name because y'all just sold out black folks for a measly. Listen, I know everybody's celebrating this infrastructure bill, but it is not nearly what people need in order to fix this country's infrastructure. David, what you got?
So 3 senators. I'm trying to find out who those 3 are. It was 95-3 on the Hawley amendment, and so there's 3. I'm assuming that Bernie Sanders was one of them, and I'm just
better have been
trying to find out, confirm those names because this article doesn't give it. Bear with me as I do that. In the meantime, if the way they're twisting it, to Ben's point. If you have that Schumer clip, Dwayne, that's not on the spreadsheet. That's the other one I sent at the last minute.
The Democratic budget will bring a generational transformation to how our economy works for average Americans. It'll cut taxes for American families. It'll lower costs for everyone. It'll create good-paying jobs while tackling climate change, and it will be paid for by making our tax code more progressive and more fair, asking corporations and the wealthy to pay their fair share. It will help middle-class Americans stay in the middle class, and it will build ladders into the middle class. It will restore the basic social contract in America.
So they're minimizing this as much as possible, essentially. You know, they're passing this massive amendment and trying to pay as little attention as possible.
So, David, in other words, you're not going to hear about this on the mainstream news.
Exactly.
Because this is not the messaging that they are being told to give the United States of America. And they haven't yet crafted. They have not yet. See, right now, scrambling. Y'all prayed my strength in the Lord this morning. But there are a bunch of black people who work for the Black Miss Leadership class, who work for people like Jim Clyburn, whose district is in a disarray, but he had time to go to 11th District of Ohio in order to sandbag Nina Turner. The aides for people like Jim Clyburn are currently scurrying around trying to figure out how they're going to wrap this piece of shit and tell us that it's cake. 100,000. I'll pay my own fee. Sorry, because I know I'm not supposed to be cussing. I will pay my own penalty because you're not going to be able to tell me that we are supposed to celebrate 100,000 new Derek Chauvins being sent to put their knee on the neck of the black community. Run the clip again from Josh Hawley, and then I want to go over the evidence again and again because I don't know what's in the final language. If you want to give me the final amendment, because this is a statement from Josh Hawley's website that is the foundation for the amendment. So if someone wants to send me a link to the final amendment, we can read it. But what is 100% crystal clear, that is unambiguous, is that the Democratic Party has just made a deal with the next evolution of Donald Trump, -45 squared. All right? Dick Durbin just shook hands with the devil and sold black people in exchange for 100,000 new Derek Chauvins to be put in our communities. Play the clip of Josh Hawley again.
That's outstanding. Let's go a step farther. Let's fund them. Let's put 100,000 new cops on the streets right now to protect our families, to protect our children. I urge a yes vote on this amendment, and I ask for the yeas and nays.
Is there a sufficient second? There appears to be.
Mr. President.
A senator from the yeas and nays are ordered.
This has been an historic day in the United States.
The senator from Illinois.
This has been a historic day in the United States Senate. We started by passing a bipartisan infrastructure bill that made history. And now the senator from Missouri is finally coming around to supporting the cops hiring program that was created by Senator Joe Biden in 1994. Since its creation, the COPS program, listen to this, has helped over 13,000 local police departments hire over 134,000 officers. We believe in it on the Democratic side. We're glad you've come around. We sent a letter to the Appropriations Committee signed by 37 Democrats for the COPS program. Do you know how many Republicans signed the letter? None. But with your amendment tonight, clearly you've come around. The Republicans are joining the Democrats in supporting Joe Biden's COPS program. You are right. We need 100,000 more police, and we stand with Joe Biden's program, and glad that you've joined us.
Folks, there's only 3 no votes on this, and that is Senators Toomey, Lee, and Bernard Effin Sanders. See, I was going to withhold judgment until I was sure, because had Bernie been on the wrong side of this, I would have been on the wrong side of Bernie, just so that y'all know. But it's good that we're not going to have that conflict today, because I don't need to be fighting on every side. Democratic Party, I don't know how we're supposed to, these not a single cop is going to go to Josh Hawley's neighborhood, but they're going to come to mine. They're going to come to mine. They're going to come to yours. They're coming to black communities. Let's be sure. They're coming to black communities. And Dick Durbin wants to celebrate this as a historic moment. Everything's a historic moment to you, mama. Every other word in this is like historic. How is it historic? Let me tell you how it's historic. This is the most racist piece of legislation that I have seen in my lifetime, not in America's lifetime, because that very well may be an insurmountable bar, but 100,000 new Derek Chauvins in our community is pretty damn impressive, Democrats. Y'all better play some music. Let me take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to unpack this more. I don't know how many details you all need. I will unpack this every single day until we have unraveled and untethered every single detail. But you're not going to tell me that 100,000 new cops in black communities, when y'all haven't arrested the murderer of Breonna Taylor, isn't a declaration of war against black folks. How else are we supposed to read that? I mean, or maybe I haven't had my coffee this morning. DJ Exclusive hasn't been here yet. Maybe that's what it is. If he's not here, Dwayne, play anything that you got. Let's break this down a little bit further. The Benjamin Dixon Show, like it or not, on the clock. All of us, we're going to be coming back talking about this for a little bit. We'll be right back after this.
Heard enough, give me space before I murder. murder y'all. 10 bad here, I'ma curve them all. 12 missed calls and I still made a curtain call. Here to light it up, lighten up. Hear him talking, they ain't right enough, tighten up. Everything that I came for, I left with. I don't bang sets, I just bang on the set list. Going past supper when I came for the breakfast. Put me in your prayers, I might put you on the guest list. Young, tell me reckless. Gold in my soul, got the same on my necklace. Light it up, light it up.
Welcome back. Ooh, I got to get that fade out. Oh, man. TriCaster, we need y'all to install some fade out into that machine. Listen, folks, it is imperative that you understand very clearly the case that I am making. And I want to start at the top of it, and I'm going to repeat it. And because I'm flying blind, I'm using a navigation metaphor, obviously. I can't really, because I'm out in the field. I'm out here covering the story of what happened in Amazon. What's happening at Amazon. Make sure that B-roll is up. We're out in the streets and we're getting footage and data and we're talking to people about how our black kids are out here delivering stuff to these gentrified neighborhoods and they're having to use the bathroom in bottles. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. Nobody cared. I thought that they should care, but nobody cared. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised that they don't care that our black kids have to urinate into bottles when they're getting ready to send 100,000 new ones to come in here and do to us and our children like what was done to Tamir Rice. See, you can't tell me that in that 100,000 there's not a new executioner. The real question is what percentage? What is the standard deviation? How many black folks are really going to die from this decision, Dick Durbin? That you so eagerly and happily joined hands with the reactionary Josh Hawley? Run the clip again to make sure that everybody who's newly joining us understands what's going on. Josh Hawley, -45 squared. He has had an amendment passed with overwhelming support of both Democrats and Republicans. Only 3 opposed it, Senators Lee, Toomey, and Bernie Sanders. Quite right. But he got that signed and passed, that amendment passed, and Dick Durbin, he literally, I'm going to play the clip again, and I want you to really think about what Dick Durbin did here. This was, I tell you what happened here. Can I tell you the truth? The white folks in Dick Durbin's team didn't contact the black folks in Jim Clyburn's team to see if this I'm going to give you the most benefit. I'm going to give y'all the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say that, no, y'all were there. Y'all know this was happening. I'm trying to create a fantasy by which y'all don't know what's going on. There is no fantasy by which y'all don't know what's going on. So there are black people who are complicit with that. And I think one of them is Cory Booker. I need that clip of Cory Booker stepping and fetching. We're going to call it like it is this morning. On the Senate floor this morning. Excited because we got what we got. Give me that clip. But first, Josh Hawley, as he discusses 100,000 new troops being sent into the occupied communities of the black delegation. And Democratic Senator Dick Durbin saying, hey, yeah, this is really great because this was 94 Crime Joe Biden's idea in the first place. Play the clip.
That's outstanding. Let's go a step farther. Let's fund them. Let's put 100,000 new cops on the streets right now to protect our families, to protect our children. I urge a yes vote on this amendment, and I ask for the yeas and nays.
Is there a sufficient second? There appears to be.
Mr. President.
A senator from the yeas and nays are ordered.
This has been an historic day in the United States.
The senator from Illinois.
This has been a historic day in the United States Senate. We started by passing a bipartisan infrastructure bill that made history. And now the senator from Missouri is finally coming around to supporting the cops hiring program that was created by Senator Joe Biden in 1994. Since its creation, the COPS program, listen to this, has helped over 13,000 local police departments hire over 134,000 officers. We believe in it on the Democratic side. We're glad you've come around. We sent a letter to the Appropriations Committee signed by 37 Democrats for the COPS program. Do you know how many Republicans signed the letter? None. But with your amendment tonight, clearly you've come around. The Republicans are joining the Democrats in supporting Joe Biden's COPS program. You are right. We need 100,000 more police, and we stand with Joe Biden's program, and glad that you've joined us.
Y'all, they really think we dumb. Dick Durbin, I'm sorry, my friend. I don't care what university you went to. You ain't smarter than the brother underneath the shade tree, because we can see right through this, my man. You really want us to think that the 94... See, here's the thing, folks. Let me give you my mea culpa. I helped Joe Biden get elected. I did. Matter of fact, I not only helped Joe Biden get elected, I paid a high price to get Joe Biden elected. I'll talk about that another time. Just consider that foreshadowing. Or backstory, rather. It's backstory. We even wrote a song about it. We helped not only Joe Biden, we really helped turn Georgia blue. That's really what we wrote the song about. Turn Georgia blue. We had people out there singing and rapping. They even had the sisters from one of the strip clubs. Y'all remember that? They did, I'm culpable for this. Joe Biden, if you sign this into law, you have made me complicit with the occupation of my community. Now, we just not going to let that happen now, are we, brother? Because we know that you are not, because what Jim Clyburn from South Carolina tells us is that you are not the same 94 crime Joe Bill Biden. The one that sent our cousins and uncles to jail. See, y'all done messed up, like 50% of my support couldn't believe that I could support Joe Biden, but I couldn't believe that everybody couldn't see very clearly the threat that Donald Trump was and is. And I want Republicans to be sure, just because we're going to give the Democrats a chin check here, don't mean y'all come around here like, oh, Dem exit. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Now, we'll do that on our own terms. First and foremost, we're going to call them out. And what we need everybody to see here is that there's no lens through which we are going to be able to accept the occupation of our communities by 100,000 new Derek Chauvins. And then Dick Durbin tried to tell us we should celebrate it. You know why? You know why he feels so emboldened? He feels so emboldened because somebody on Jim Clyburn's team say, just tie it to Joe Biden. Black folks love Joe Biden. Joe Biden, you're not, but can you give me the clip of Joe Biden saying you ain't black? Now, I'm not going to run it today. I'm going to give Joe Biden some head time. You got to give people some runway. So we're going to give you till tomorrow, Joe Biden, because we need you to oppose this unequivocally. I ain't even say it right, but you know what I'm trying to say. We need you to oppose this without hesitation, without question. We will not accept 100,000 new Derek Chauvins in the black community. Run the next clip. Whatever clip you got next, David, navigate us. Where are we going?
Wayne, roll the clip of Senator Cory Booker. This was earlier yesterday. I call on my colleagues
to support our law enforcement by voting yes for this amendment. Opposing my amendment is a vote in support of defunding the police and against the men and women in blue.
The gentleman's time has expired.
Madam President.
Senator from New Jersey.
I am so excited.
Oh my God, y'all gonna have to get me off this show.
The highlight of this long and painful and torturous night. This is a gift. If it wasn't complete abdication of Senate procedures and esteem, I would walk over there and hug my colleague from Alabama. And I will tell you right now, thank God, because there's some people who have said that they're members of this deliberative body that want to defund the police, to my horror. And now this senator has given us the gift that finally, once and for all, we can put to bed this scurrilous accusation that somebody in this great esteemed body would want to defund the police. So let all of us, 100 people, not walk, but sashay down there and vote for this amendment and put to rest the lies. And I am sure I will see no political ads attacking anybody here over defund the police. And I would ask unanimous consent to add something else to this obvious bill. Can we add also that every senator here wants to defund the police, believes in God, country, and apple pie? Thank you.
I get it, David. I read your note. Let me take
outside of that, just a note on the amendment, because this is not the Hawley amendment.
Yeah, I know. It's the other amendment. Now, but it's still in the same. First of all, let's be sure about something. Cory Booker voted for that other amendment, the Josh Hawley amendment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this, the Tuberville amendment passed 99-0. It establishes a deficit-neutral reserve fund relating to decreasing federal funding for local jurisdictions that defund the police.
Read it one more time.
The amendment would establish a deficit-neutral reserve fund related to decreasing federal funding for local jurisdictions that defund the police. So it's deficit neutral. It doesn't add to the deficit, but it would decrease federal funding for localities that defund their police departments.
So it's a penalty for any
Correct. It penalizes defunding the police.
Right, and it in a way it is signifying, because there's no city council across the country that has been successful or even remotely serious about completely defunding the police. So this is a red herring.
Absolutely.
This is a red herring for us to chase and say, oh, it's not about defund, da, 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 da. But this is Cory Booker doing a song and dance to add to the chorus of the madness and the absurdity that happened last night, which was the Josh Hawley amendment of 100,000 new cops being put on the streets of our communities, and because they are not going on the opposite side of MLK Boulevard. They're staying over our side, on Hammondville side, on Pompano, down by McMillan's Barbecue. Best barbecue in the South, if you ask me. David, what else we got?
On this, I believe the only thing is the future goals Biden's working on, which is a little bit off topic. The one thing I would note, just to continue your thread, Ben, is that what's really obvious is that they're going to come back. Democrats are going to come back next time we have a shooting or an event, and scream about it. So, and play into, the concerns of the communities. But at the same time, they're using this as cover to say the Republicans keep attacking us, but we're not defunding the police. This should, and this is not going to get coverage, but it should.
No, because I can guarantee you one thing, David. I can guarantee you one thing. If you look at any of the major networks right now, they're celebrating this. They're celebrating this because this is a minor footnote. This is a minor compromise. This is nothing for them. This is a Wednesday. This is not even Taco Tuesday anymore. It's like, this is Wednesday. Let's screw black people over. And expect them to accept it because, they're loyal to Joe Biden. That's the thing see, I didn't bring Joe Biden into this.
And Warnock voted for it too, voted for both of them.
Raphael Warnock, Reverend Raphael Warnock, and John Ossoff, huh? Oh, Brutus, is that not the deepest cut of all? The very people we wrote a song for. So I guess my song and dance was just as bad as Cory Booker's, wasn't it? Shame on me. Run that clip again. That's okay. I'll get my recompense by doing what is right. And we're going to take this step by step, layer by layer. And I think the case is clear. There's nobody who's listening to me who can tell me or convince me that 100,000 police officers being sent to black communities, because you sure as hell know they're not going to Josh Hawley's community. There's nobody who's going to stand and stare me in the face and say that that's a good thing. And I would love the challenge to see anyone who would. Run the clip of just Dick Durbin responding, because I want people to understand the only reason I brought Joe Biden in this. It's not because I look for opportunities to attack the president, but because Dick Durbin, the esteemed senator from Illinois, right, David, he brought Joe Biden into this as justification as to why we should be excited about the cops hiring program. Run the clip.
The senator from Illinois.
This has been a historic day in the United States Senate. We started by passing a bipartisan infrastructure bill that made history. And now the senator from Missouri is finally coming around to supporting the cops hiring program that was created by Senator Joe Biden in 1994. Since its creation, the COPS program, listen to this, has helped over 13,000 local police departments hire over 134,000 officers. We believe in it on the Democratic side. We're glad you've come around. We sent a letter to the Appropriations Committee signed by 37 Democrats for the COPS program. Do you know how many Republicans signed the letter? None. But with your amendment tonight, clearly you've come around. The Republicans are joining the Democrats in supporting Joe Biden's COPS program. You are right. We need 100,000 more police, and we stand with Joe Biden's program, and glad that you've joined us.
The only reason I would bring Joe Biden into this, I'm just saying that for the benefit of those of you who are rattled by the fact that I have no qualm whatsoever. See, this is a great spot. This, my friends, is a great spot for you to realize who's funded by whom. But I digress. The point is, I want you to understand that Dick Durbin, the distinguished gentleman from the state of Illinois, brought Joe Biden into this. I did not. And he pointed directly to the document that we should look to as the justification as to why we should support this new amendment from Josh Hawley that puts 100,000 new cops on the streets. Y'all gonna make me have to make this case plain, ain't you? 100,000 new cops on the street is being justified by Dick Durbin from the state of Illinois by saying, look at the 94 crime bill. He's so aloof and cavalier with his tenuous relationship with the black community, Dick. You don't really know us. Not like that. For you to just throw around the 94 crime bill as if we don't know what the hell it is and who it put in jail. Brought to you in part by Bill Clinton. I do believe that we really got to call a thing here, folks. I'm sorry if I sound like a shock jock this morning, but I was shocked this morning. I woke up thinking that I would be able to talk about those boys and those girls and non-gender conforming individuals at Amazon. Run that B-roll for me, because I still want to highlight those people, those workers who have been, those essential workers who have been delivering your packages throughout the pandemic, have had to urinate in bottles. And this is exclusive footage that I captured talking to them as I came back from Ohio's 11th District supporting Nina Turner, who got sandbagged by South Carolina's Jim Clyburn, who's going to be rolled out today, probably already on Morning Joe, to discuss why this is such a historic occasion. Y'all don't let me do this thing until I actually got good at it. Let's run the tape one more time of Josh Hawley explaining. And then there's a clip of Josh Hawley on Fox News where he goes into detail. See, this is Josh Hawley's baby. Let me explain to you why you should be even upset with Dick Durbin. I'm going to hold off of Joe Biden because, well, I haven't heard anything from him yet. But also because I need to give you and the audience time to understand if Joe comes down on the wrong side of this, we're going to come down on the wrong side of Joe. But for now, let's understand Josh Hawley, because he is a nefarious character. He is the evolution of Donald Trump. And that is enough for me to conclude that there is nothing that I want to have bipartisanship with him. This is a good place for Rebecca to jump in and explain what bipartisanship really is. Because in this case, Dick Durbin was sent across the aisle to join hands in bipartisanship with Josh Hawley. And guess who got sold out? Black folks. Run the introduction of that clip again of Josh Hawley explaining exactly what this is in no uncertain terms, no ambiguity. It's crystal clear. Let's play it.
That's outstanding. Let's go a step farther. Let's fund them. Let's put 100,000 new cops on the streets right now to protect our families, to protect our children. I urge a yes vote on this amendment, and I ask for the yeas and nays.
Is there a sufficient second? There appears to be.
Mr. President.
A senator from the yeas and nays are ordered.
This has been an historic day in the United States.
The senator from Illinois.
This has been a historic
Dwayne, can we mute it here?
Senate. We started by passing a bipartisan infrastructure bill.
Go for it, David.
So one thought to feed you, Ben, and I think I have the Fox clip. I'm hoping it's the right one. But one thing to pose you here, even though it probably is already seems obvious. Why is this a trade-off that has to be acceptable? If you combine the two bills, the reconciliation and the infrastructure and the bipartisan bill, there's tons of stuff that we need or want in it. But the trade-off is they're asking us to accept this nonsense, more poison for communities, and that not to drive you off the deep end. I just want to paint that more for the audience than anything else. We need what's in the bills, but this is the pill that has to be swallowed. If you have
all things, this is the thing that they negotiate with.
If you have the clip, Dwayne, that I just dropped, I don't know if it's too soon for you.
Then let me say this about that question that you posed there, David, because you really do like to play both sides of my shoulders, don't you? The devil and the angel. Because let me tell you something, man. The fact that the first thing that they were willing to jump at an opportunity to make a bipartisanship agreement was to put more boots in our community. Was the black community. And we are literally, me. I wrote the damn song, Stand Up Georgia, my silly ass. Oh, man, do we have that clip?
Senator Josh Hawley voted against that infrastructure bill today, and he joins me now. Senator, I understand why the Democrats voted for the bill. This is the part of their agenda. Joe Biden ran on this. The radicals love it. Why did your Republican colleagues vote for this bill?
Good question. I have to say I don't know the answer to that question, and I'm disappointed that anybody would support this bill. You said it exactly right. This isn't an infrastructure bill. This is a radical left woke.
Now let's pause it real quick. So I want to pause it. I picked up the context of the conversation, so let me give it to the audience. This is prior to the negotiation. So if you want to know why this was the pressure point, it's because Josh Hawley made it the pressure point. Josh Hawley withheld his vote. How about that? Y'all gonna make me have a full circle mea culpa today. Josh Hawley withheld his vote to get his demands in. How about that? Still don't like you, man. Y'all don't even mention that man's name in my comment section. The point is this, David, you just played, and I needed to give the context, but this is exactly the answer. The answer is the reason this was negotiated on was because Josh Hawley flexed his power and said, hey, I'm going to hold up this vote unless you acquiesce to my demands. And my guess is what you're going to hear now are the demands that he got approved by 95 senators, David?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, the Hawley Amendment, 95-3.
95-3, and the only three were Lee, Toomey, and Senator Bernie Sanders. Let's continue the clip where we left off.
For this bill.
Good question. I have to say I don't know the answer to that question, and I'm disappointed that anybody would support this bill. You said it exactly right. This isn't an infrastructure bill. This is a radical left woke politics bill that has stuff like gender identity mandates in it, the radical equity agenda, the Green New Deal. That's all in this bill. And by the way, it's going to cost trillions of dollars pork barrel spending. There's stuff like bridges and highways in Canada in this bill. We ought to be building highways and bridges in the United States, not in foreign countries. This is a bad bill, and that's why I voted no.
So this is how he made himself the star of the show. Now, I'm sure there's more negotiations going on in the background. There are probably a couple. I think Ted Cruz tried to throw an amendment in, and that got knocked down. There was an amendment that was put forth by, and I got to go to the Politico article, but there was an amendment that was put forth that was to bar anyone coming in at the border who doesn't test negative for COVID-19. They approved that bill with the same measure, but they did not take the Cruz amendment. Rather, I said bill, but I do mean amendment. They took that amendment, but they did not take the Ted Cruz amendment, which would say that they would deport people. I got to break this down for you so you can see the games that are played on us. Ted Cruz said, hey, let's deport anyone who's at the border who doesn't test negative for COVID-19. Well, they said, no, we're not going to go that far. We're not going to be that bad. We're not going to do asylum seekers that bad. But what we're going to do is we're going to leave them at the border. So it's not just black folks who got screwed last night, but we got screwed the most because we got 100,000 occupying forces slated to come to our communities, to the black community. Because sure as hell, they are not going to Josh Hawley's community. They're not going to Ted Cruz. They're not going to Mar-a-Lago. Where do you think those 100,000 people are going to come? They're going to come to our neighborhood. Where are we at, David?
I think we should probably go for a break. I think we got a DJ exclusive on Wait.
Okay. Let's do that. This is a good place. We're going to re-up. And there are other things that we're going to tie into this. Obviously, there's the issue of the infrastructure bill, and we have to explore why this was the part that they're negotiating on, right? Why is it? And then how can we stop this? That's most important. How can we stop this? I believe that the squad, I think, David, from what our conversation is that the squad presents us an opportunity to block this. And I'm telling you, folks, anybody who comes down on the wrong side of this is coming down on the wrong side of the black community. We'll be back right after this.
Good morning, y'all. It's your boy DJ Exclusive James Wilbur Williams is in the building. Good morning, y'all. Hope y'all doing good.
Sticks and stones may break my bones. Words can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, I ain't been right more than I've been.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning.
It can't hurt me. No, it just can't hurt me. No. No, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No. I know it's hard to be polite, and it's easy being petty. My mama used to tell me, gotta use you when you ready. Man, it's crazy how my brother said it could have been my step. It's either prison or a grave. That's what everybody tell me. Man, life ain't a beach, it's a female dog. I'm staying 10 toes down, though I still might fall. Oh yeah, now I done came through.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning. I see y'all in the chat room. Shout out to everybody that's checking us out this morning. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you are. Good morning. Shout out to all my international crew that's in the building as well too. Shout out, man. Good morning.
May break my bone, but your words can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No.
Good morning, mom and daddy. Love y'all. Good morning.
More than I've been wrong, and it still can't hurt me. No, it just can't hurt me. No. No, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No. No, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No. See, it's hard to be polite. It's easy being petty. Mama used to tell me, gotta use you when you're ready. Cause I ain't working on my own time. And ain't got no diamonds on me, but I stay shining. Yeah. They say the world will be a better place if they got the hate. Let's keep it real.
Colin Sherber, good morning, sir.
Yeah. So be a light up on my path and the lamp under my feet.
Mara, good morning.
I'm in line with the stars, I'm in sync with the earth. 10 toes deep, flower child from the turf. I never switch sides, like even when I die, I'm a ride for the squad. Lot of tires in the hearse. I've been on the vibe, kinda hard to describe. I'm in between, I'm good and it's fine, but I'm tired of the grind. Then I come alive in the night to realize I'm in the middle of the time of my life. I'm never so packed for the stack, never lied on the rap. Got a bag from the way that I write it. Queen looking Tyson, do that I survived.
Y'all make sure you stay tuned. We got more coming up next on the Business Dixon channel, y'all. Make sure you stay tuned.
Be still, let that hate stuff fade. We all want the same. We all want a meal in the safe. I want to live like I'm trying to be lightning.
Trust build from my lips, feel big from the bit. Take a sip till I pass out. Try and get grit, but it don't make sense. Cause you can lose life on this fast route. Yeah, turn thoughts to a cash cow. I might flip that to the glass house. I don't need the accolades, I'm in love with the chase. I just wanna eat, save a spot at the table. Beast with the slack and myself on the map. You long with the wind, but we knowing that it's capped. 5 hours.
Tiger, I appreciate you, Tiger.
To be real, couldn't see me making moves while I'm at. I'm still on the grind, limit time when I chat. Burning down sage, keep the demons away. When I write it, give a piece of myself to the page. I don't do it for the praise, love, that's just how I'm made.
From the glass in the mirror, yeah. Do it at me, old man, trying to pass in the fear. You're the first one to talk, but the last one to hear. Eyes blurry, but I couldn't see that. And he cleared.
That's right, y'all. It's hump day. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Wednesday, y'all.
For the cash, got snakes in the grass, no brakes on the ad, but it's all fun. We done seen it all, heard it all. Heard enough, give me space before I murder y'all. 10 bad here, I'ma curve them all. 12 missed calls, and I still made a curtain call. Here to light it up, lighten up. Hear him talking, they ain't right enough, tighten up. Everything that I came for, I left with. I don't bang sets, I just bang on the set list. Going past up what I came for the breakfast. Put me in your prayers, I might put you on the guest list. Beyond to me, reckless. Gold in my soul, got the same on the necklace.
Sharice.
You proved to me that rising to the top was my destiny. And you can see whatever from behind me, but I'm still fly, I know. I'm still fly, let's go. It could all be worse, I could be a hater like you.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, non-gender conforming individuals. I want to reset the stage. Shout out to DJ Exclusive, and we'll get him back in as soon as the Beyonce's internet gets connected back over there on his side. So we'll be ready for him. I want to reset the stage for anyone who's just joining us at this hour. As you slept last night, there was a bipartisan historic moment where the Democrats joined with Republicans to find an agreement in order to move forward on other legislation. We'll get to the other legislation in a minute. But I want you to take real close attention, pay really close attention into where they found agreement. We're going to play those clips again. It is with an amendment from the senator from Missouri, Josh Hawley, who is negative 45 squared. He is the second coming of Trump. And Senator Dick Durbin, didn't mean to get amplified in that microphone. Senator Dick Durbin from Illinois excitedly greeted this opportunity to find bipartisanship with this reactionary Republican, Josh Hawley. And it is the exact point of bipartisanship that I believe to be the most racist amendment that I have seen in my lifetime. Not in America's lifetime, because that's a hell of a bar. But this is getting close. When the black community is pleading and organizing. See, not only are y'all not protecting our right to vote because you're afraid to mess up the filibuster, but now y'all are sending 100,000 new troops into black communities and telling us that we should be celebrating this bipartisan historic moment. Let's play the entire clip of Josh Hawley all the way through the reaction from the Democratic senator from the state of Illinois, Dick Durbin.
100,000 new cops on the streets right now to protect our families, to protect our children. I urge a yes vote on this amendment, and I ask for the yeas and nays.
Is there a sufficient second? There appears to be.
Mr. President.
A senator from the yeas and nays are ordered.
This has been an historic day in the United States.
The senator from Illinois.
This has been a historic day in the United States Senate. We started by passing a bipartisan infrastructure bill that made history. And now the senator from Missouri is finally coming around to supporting the cops hiring program that was created by Senator Joe Biden in 1994. Since its creation, the COPS program, listen to this, has helped over 13,000 local police departments hire over 134,000 officers. We believe in it on the Democratic side. We're glad you've come around. We sent a letter to the Appropriations Committee signed by 37 Democrats for the COPS program. Do you know how many Republicans signed the letter? None.
I'm so fascinated by that's an unexpected turn. I did not expect them to go back to the 94 crime bill as a way of justifying why we should be happy about this Josh Hawley amendment.
That's why I don't expect to hear anything from Biden.
Say that again.
That's why I don't expect to hear anything from Biden on this. He wouldn't want to draw attention to it, but he is also not opposed to it.
Yeah, and he's going to sign it if we let him. And that's 100,000. Because here's the thing: like, if you think about they didn't care about language back then. What was the name of the bill? The program, hiring new cops or cops hiring. It's so triggering to hear how they used to write their legislative names. Those legislative names, hiring new cops. No, man, that scares me. That doesn't make me feel comfortable. That doesn't make me feel secure. It shouldn't make anybody in the black community feel secure. I feel threatened when a cop comes by. Black people, we feel threatened. Mother, let me talk to Mother, who was afraid of the drug dealers back in '94. And you felt like you were doing the right thing supporting the '94 crime bill, because the crime had gotten so bad, but they made you think that crime had gotten so bad because the boys on the block needed to pull their pants up and we needed more cops on the streets. Let me tell you something. I don't think I've ever said this on the show before. When I was a minister, because I'd leave y'all alone. No, I'm joking. When I was a minister, I used to walk the streets of Pompano Beach, Florida. And I used to try to tell people about Jesus Christ. Y'all see how that went for me. And on one side of the street, I would be talking to folks who, they might be selling something. That's fine, But on the other side of the street, the same street, were police officers. They knew about the drug deals in our communities, Mother. They knew about it because they were a part of it. And who got punished? Let me frame this a little bit differently. Maybe we don't need to frame this quite yet on the 94 crime bill, even though that's how Dick Durbin is framing it. I'm not going to get caught in that one. Let's come up for air. Let me help you frame it like this. White supremacy attacked the country on January 6th, and black people are getting punished. White supremacy attacked the country on January 6th. But black folks are the ones who are getting the occupying forces to the tune of 100,000 troops. Now, David, am I being hyperbolic? Or are you seeing the same thing? Where am I getting this wrong, David?
No, it seems glaring. The only thing I haven't had time to look into, but what seems to be the case is he's mentioning the crime bill because it sounds like the amendment funds the program Biden authored, if I'm getting it right. I haven't had time to confirm that, but it doesn't seem so much framing as that it's technically connected.
I'm at a loss, folks. I'm actually not. I'm trying to give everybody time to catch up because I've already figured this out. And I can't show you why. I can't just be mad. I've got to explain to you very methodically why I think we need to be mad enough. I'll finish that conversation when we get a response from Joe Biden. I want to play again this next clip of Dick Durbin. We're looking at him now. I want to play it again because just the first part. Because the way he's talking about the 94 crime bill, I want y'all to really think about, I'm so tempted, David, and it is such a tempting juicy path, because if we start unpacking what happened in the 94 crime bill, we could talk about that for the rest of the day. I want you all to do, that's your homework. I don't want to saddle this conversation because we got to focus on the games that are being played. Today, at some point today, Jim Clyburn is going to be rolled out to tell you why this is a historic piece of legislation. That's his job. He's going to come out and then he's going to tell you, anybody who don't support this, something along the lines, somebody's going to say that not supporting this is not supporting the black community. How, Sway? Because he's going to use that same trope, Mother. This is why I wanted to frame it the way I did. Mother, I'm talking to the mother of the church, not my mother, even though she is I'm talking to those people in the church who were afraid back in 94 because crime was rampant. They made you believe it was rampant because we did not have enough security forces. They sent a lot of our black men to jail, some women, some of our sisters in jail right now because of that 94 crime bill. Uncles, nephews, cousins in jail. And they want us to look at that and say that that's the justification, the lens through which we should understand why this is okay. But Mother, I'm trying to tell you, what has happened since 1994? How many black people are in jail unjustly right now? How many black people have been killed? Of that cops hiring program that Dick Durbin celebrated, that I want us to hear about again, how many of those cops actually killed black people? Well, you know that there's a number. Dick Durbin, let's hear from you again why you think it's okay for us to make a deal with the devil, -45 squared.
Senator from the yeas and nays are ordered.
This has been an historic day in the United States.
The senator from Illinois.
It's been a historic day in the United States Senate. We started by passing a bipartisan infrastructure bill that made history. And now the senator from Missouri is finally coming around to supporting the cops hiring program that was created by Senator Joe Biden in 1994. Since its creation, the cops program has helped over 13,000 local police departments hire over 134,000 officers. We believe in it on the Democratic side. We're glad you've come around. We sent a letter to the Appropriations Committee signed by 37 Democrats for the cops program. Do you know how many Republicans signed the letter? None. But with your amendment tonight, clearly you've come around. The Republicans are joining the Democrats in supporting Joe Biden's cops program. You are right. We need 100,000 more police, and we stand with Joe Biden's program, and glad that you've joined us.
DJ Exclusive, man. Hey, am I losing it here?
You know, Ben, I gotta. So it's. I look at this a few different ways. No, don't want all those freaking cops. Do we need them? Yes, because I'm gonna tell you, in my city right now, I get sick of seeing all of this. I get alerts every day. One over the weekend, a couple of weekends ago, and while I'm in Florida, at least 10, 15 messages of somebody getting shot, killed, drowned in something else, and it's in the black community. So I know I don't fully agree with the bill, but if this is the way we're gonna do, if we're not gonna do it the way like the Black Panthers did when they helped out the community, then we have no choice but to do this, because right now crime is rampant. Excuse me. And I hate that I have to agree with this. Or, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's needed, because if not, the crime right now, because this is a conversation that we're not having or nobody wants to have, is addressing the black on black crime in the communities. So now we have to get these people involved, and we don't want to do that. But see,
sorry, question for just a question on what you're seeing, on what you're getting from Georgia. Is there any indication? Is it like gang crime? Is it just shootings? Is it police shooting them? Like what's the consensus on all the activity?
We see, honestly, besides that video that just recently came out, beside the person getting kicked in the head by the police chief, other than that, it's been plain crime. When I tell you, it's just like, it's ridiculous. Like, I don't even want to live here anymore. It's that bad. It's to that point. So it's like, you can't trust the police. You can't trust your neighbor. It's like, who the hell can you trust? So it's one of those things it's really, yes, like you said, don't really care for this bill. Really don't. But what are we doing to protect these communities and to clean them up and to get this? And David, asking your question, some of it is gang violence, but a lot of this stuff is a lot of out-of-towners coming to the city doing stuff. If there's a website y'all can go to, if y'all want to see how bad it is, look up ATL Scoop on Instagram. ATL Scoop on Instagram. You will see every freaking day there are people breaking into cars, breaking in windows. And I'm not talking about of course they get our Caucasian brothers and sisters, but the majority of people that they always get is going to be us. So come on, man. How can we be against something if we're not helping the freaking problem? I mean, let's be honest. We don't want this bill to pass, but what the hell are we doing to help the community ourselves to stop some of this damn violence so police won't have to get involved? Because I would rather police not get involved at all. And we handle this ourselves in our neighborhood and our communities. But right now it's so bad, it's too far gone. We can't get a hold on it. So what can we do? And granted, I'm hoping and I'm wishing and I'm praying that out of these 100,000, they get the 100,000 from the communities that these people work in. So they already know what the issue is.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
help.
one big thing, because in any of these communities, there's very little requirement, as far as I know. I know in New York there isn't. In the city, we have cops from upstate New York or Westchester, New York. So I can imagine in Georgia and other places similar that there's no requirement for it to be in the communities. And they're hiring people from the military from background and whatnot. The only other question I'd pose to both of you guys, just to help the conversation along, I'm sorry that I interrupted you, James, is
do me a favor and keep the Josh Hawley and I know we don't have the B-roll, but just put them on full screen as we discuss it. The clip of Josh Hawley and Dick Durbin. Go ahead.
So we're hearing the need for, you know, stopping the chaos, and the answer in this framing is the police. But the question is, what's the underlying reason for the unrest and the crime and the shootings and all of that? Because the cops aren't going to stop the underlying reasons. Whatever is causing people to go out and shoot or break into cars or whatnot, whether it's COVID, whether it's poverty, whether it's systematic inequality, the cops aren't going to be. They might stomp out the crime, but that's only to lead.
But they don't.
To lead to more jail time and more unrest and more anger. No.
Well, that's the thing. They don't actually ever stomp out the crime. That's the flip side of this. David, do me a favor and grab the FBI statistics for black on black crime and white on white crime and Latino crime. I think the most recent maybe 2016. But if they have any updated, I want to bring it up on the screen. The police really don't stomp out crime. They never have. They just there to punish those that they catch.
I gotta disagree. You know, it's one of those things. It's those bad apples in every bunch, but you have those ones that are good and that do good and want to do good, but that number is severely decreased by the number of bad cops, the cops that think that they can do anything and everything you want, aka the Derek Chauvins. So I do think that there are some good ones, but not to take away from what the whole word of police originally meant from the beginning. And Jesse Mind, the Bubba stats show you're wrong. More police doesn't equal accountability. The ones in place just don't do their jobs, let alone protect the serve. And I understand that. I'm not taking that away, but what are we doing in our communities to stop this shit? That's what I'm saying. So, yeah, my stats may be wrong. And Jesse, I would love to see your stats, but I'm talking about from what I see personally. Y'all talk about me being in the streets. I'm in the streets. I see this. So what are we doing? I don't want more cops around here. I don't want none of these damn cops around here. But and unless a brother sees a cop in the street or he sees the cops coming, then they'll stop them from whatever they're doing right now. And that's my whole point, because I don't want my community messed up and effed up because you got a knucklehead in the street that don't want to get out there and try to do what they need to do. Most times I understand that some people do what they need to do to try to help their family survive. But the majority of this shit comes from people that are under 17 that don't have any home training and are just out there in the street because they think it's fun. And that's not the way to do it. So let's get to the real issue is that we need to do something in these communities that's going to stop this crime, because then that way the damn cops don't have to come out here at all, and we don't even have to worry about this. Y'all can hire these 100,000 cops if y'all want to, but guarantee y'all won't be coming to my community because my shit is going to be cleaned up. And if I had to do it myself, I will. And I think everybody should have that same mindset. You don't want them in your community, then stop them from coming in there. Do something where there's no crime in the area that they have to come in there. Let's start there first.
You said something in what you were saying, James, that I want to ask. You said that you don't want the extra. You mentioned that these would be extra cops in the neighborhood, in the community that you're in.
They didn't even say extra cops.
Say that again.
I said, then they're not even extra cops. Majority of these cops, of course, somebody said it in the chat room, brought up a very good point. When that Black Lives Matter stuff, when everything was going on last year with the protests, a lot of them quit, especially here in Atlanta, because for one, a lot of cops got, a few of the cops got suspended for actions that they did. So a lot of them after that, they resigned or retired or did whatever. So now, they're just not enough of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So there's not enough cops in your neighborhood.
It's a lot. The police station is down the street from my house.
But you don't feel safe.
I never feel safe with police. Do we have to call them sometimes? Yeah, we ain't got no choice. Who else are we gonna call? Because I can't take out a gun and shoot you myself. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to attack you. Don't do that. So.
I want to.
I just want to note that, and Dwayne, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I was able to tell when I was looking up the FBI stats, it looks like the most recent year they have is 2019.
Oh, what are the stats from 2000?
Yes,
do we have it on the screen?
2019. This is
we're looking at it on the screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on, because y'all know I don't look at the screen ever.
Were they able to hear you, Dwayne?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's take a look at 219. So I haven't seen these stats yet. Let's see. And it's early in the morning. Race another. White on white is unknown male. Give me a second to read through this. Let's take a quick break because this is 2019. I haven't read 2019. I have 2016. Let's take a quick break. And David, send me this link. I want to look through it because based on 2016 data, what we see is the phenomenon of white on white crime is just as bad as black on black crime, is just as bad on Latino crime, which shows us that crime is a part of your community. You literally kill the people that you live next to. Very few cases of people who go out of their community. And so that really is a statement to the fact of how segregated our communities still are. Like we really are a segregated nation at our core. And that's why we have such a phenomenon of quote unquote black on black crime, but it doesn't stand outside of the phenomenon of white on white crime, which are all according to, we'll unpack it. Let's take a quick break because I need to update my information because it could have changed. If the numbers change, we follow the numbers. So let's take a quick break and come back. This is a great conversation. James, I'm actually excited about the fact that you have the opposite side of it because that's the only way that we can come to some better understanding is if we have a balance between the two opposing sides. So I think it's a great conversation to have. We'll be back right after this.
All right, y'all, make sure that you stay tuned and just keep in mind that the opinions of Bubba is the opinions of Bubba. Everybody that says you drank the wrong Kool-Aid. No, I didn't drink the wrong Kool-Aid. This is Bubba's Kool-Aid. So you have your opinion. I have mine. Just to clear that up. Tripping. No, I'm talking about what I see and what I've experienced. That's all I can talk about. My experiences. You don't have the same experiences that Bubba does. So when I get you back, we gonna have patrons real quick and get these read off. Start tripping. New patrons of the day. We have Mary B. When it comes to you and Matthew O. Randall B. There's no one else. Randall M. Randall M. Herbert M. Rosaba. We have Mars Cerise, who is trying to play it. Shout out to Mar, man. We have new Twitch subscribers, Wilson Delisa Egan, who subscribed with Prime. No King 88 resubscribed. Trekkie Nurse Dragon gifted 1 community subscription. We have JN Lee 1981, who gifted subscriptions to OG Man Shark and Fascist Killer and Afro. We have Zivis X, who gifted 2 community subscriptions. The Chicken Fried Dragon, who gifted 5 community subscriptions. Shout out to Chicken Fried Dragon, y'all. Rachel Etney cheered 73 bits. Excuse me. Siskiyou Cat cheered 100 bits. And My Slytherin cheered 166 bits. Again, y'all, if you want to, you can join patreon.com/likeItOrNot. Patreon.com/likeItOrNot, man, and get exclusive content. Join and get all of this good conversation, y'all. Stay tuned. We got more coming up next.
Cause I don't wanna lose you. I hope you feel that way too. No, I don't wanna lose you. Baby, don't go. Oh, when I get you back, oh yeah, I promise you'll never leave me. When it comes to you and me,
y'all make sure that y'all stay tuned, y'all.
I'd rather be with when I get you back, oh yeah. Oh, when I get you back, oh yeah. When I get you back, oh yeah. When I get you back, oh yeah.
I saw you, I knew all the time. It was something in the air that night, and in the way you looked at me. I get nervous when you get close, and my heart fills up with butterflies. And then you leave me speechless. My world turned upside down. Just say that you won't go and break my heart. Break my heart.
All right, y'all, here we go. We're going to finish the conversation. Welcome back again.
It's the only one I've got. The one I've got.
Hey. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, non-gender conforming individuals. Welcome back to all of this, which is a show of shows, the Benjamin Dixon Show, Like It or Not, on the clock. All of that. Listen, I want to be. Let's be clear about something, folks. When I want y'all to take notice of what I did. When first of all, take notice of the fact that James feels like he boy, you got the right to have your opinion. Okay,
right.
I know you don't need me to tell you that, but I think folks need to just understand that people should be able to disagree, because the disagreement is actually where the revelation is. Like the our way forward is in actually what you and I are about to discuss.
Mm-hmm. Because my next question is going to be then, if you know, and like I said, by no means, shape, or form am I saying that I agree with this bill, but I'm saying we do need more police officers, but we need more police officers that are actually in these communities. They need to be vetted, and they need to go through certain things and train the correct way. So yes, this money could have went to something else, such as training and getting police up to where they need to be, and hiring police in that community, building jobs for one thing, but also, you know, so people will feel safe. Well, my question is to everyone then, what do you say that we do then? What are the next steps? What can we do to improve the crime, not hire extra police, and still maintain where we are. Go forward.
Well, one is certainly not putting, and I want to make sure that everyone also understands that while me and James are going to have this conversation, I still want it on the record that this is the most racist amendment in the history of my lifetime. And I just want to, this is the dialectic that we're having. On my side of the equation, I'm saying that this is the most racist amendment in my lifetime, because you can't tell me, and James is going to tell me, so we're going to have the conversation, but I'm making a declaration into the universe that 100,000 more Derek Chauvins in our communities is not going to make us safer. Now, to answer your question more specifically, go ahead.
Why do you look at them as Derek Chauvins? Why can they be Henry Dunn? Well, that's how I look at it.
Well, Henry Dunn,
if we can hire 100,000 Henry Dunns, then I might feel safe, but not Derek Chauvins. So I guess I look at it in a different way.
Yeah, but when you get pulled over, man, it's a toss of a coin. When I got pulled over 3 weeks ago, I felt good that it was a brother. I felt like, I don't have to worry for my life. That's not always the case, because in Atlanta, you remember the police officers, those 2 police officers that got fired during the protest, during the George Floyd protest. And they, on video, we played it on this channel several times, and it's readily accessible via Google if anyone wants to know what I'm talking about. The 2 police officers that Keisha Lance Bottoms, the mayor of Atlanta, had to fire because 2 black men, they busted out the windows of 2 black students who were on their way home, and they instituted a curfew, and they literally pulled, if I'm not mistaken, they pulled one of them out the car. And so I don't know that every officer I'm going to run up on is going to be a good officer like Henry Dunn. Is it Harry or Henry? Because I don't want to disrespect him.
Harry Dunn. Harry Dunn,
the Capitol police officer who saved the day. He did. He was one of the heroes of January 6th. No, I don't know if the officer who pulls me over is going to be a good cop or a bad cop. But what I do know is that I've covered far too many stories of the bad cops and far too many stories of the good cops not saying anything about the bad cops.
I'm going to pose this, if I can, real quick.
Ben, I'm going to say Mr. Ben.
No, it's all good. What's that, David?
Two thoughts for you all to speak on, just because I'm taking advantage of my mic this morning.
That's fine, brother. Go ahead.
First, one thing that's not brought up often enough, and I'm fairly sure that police would be biased against them, but I don't know that if that plays into it at all, is the crime on LGBTQIA, specifically trans. And James, you'd be able to speak more on that, but I didn't want the conversation to, miss that part of the conversation, especially because it's a significant portion and our audience cares about that.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I would pose is on the. Well, let's go there first, and then we can go to the second part. I just wonder. I don't know that we have the statistics on the trans killings, but from the FBI. But I'm just curious about that role in the murder uptick that we might be seeing as well.
No, David, that's that first part again. I'm sorry.
Just how. So. I don't think any of us can speak to the bias of the police towards the trans community. Maybe, and James, you might have some insight into that area. But I'm just curious. We know that trans killing is a huge killing or assaults of the trans community is a huge problem that's not given attention to in and of itself. So in this broader conversation about the uptick in crime and how to address it, I'm just trying to bring focus to that as well, and just wonder if this helps, I guess, which in my mind, my inclination is to say it won't, but.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, James.
No, go ahead, Ben. Now, you first.
I was gonna say, because I'm not saying that it's a stretch, because there could be some overlap there, David, but it is like it's a nuance that I don't know that we should probably try to parse right now. Let's leave that one bottled up for another conversation. Here's the direction that I want to explore with this, because the question also was posed is, what do we do? Like, what do we actually do? Because we have a couple of things ahead of us. I don't think the solution to the crime in our neighborhood, this is just my bottom line, James, and obviously, and I really appreciate your position on this. I mean, like, real talk. So I don't want anybody to give you flack about it.
There's no position.
What do you mean? No, your thoughts on it. Your thoughts on it. Your thoughts on it.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, because there's no position. I don't agree with this shit, like I said. Yeah, go ahead.
Your thoughts on it. I'll be clear on it. But the point is I am of the opinion, and I'm of the firm. My belief is that more cops in our neighborhoods do not make us safer. In fact, it makes us more unsafe because of the encounters that happen because of simple things like taillights, jaywalking. I mean, this is more funding for them to get robot dogs, like we saw out of Brooklyn, the stuff from Black Mirror. Like, this is going to put more tanks in Ferguson. Every time we see black folks get anything from the Democratic Party, it's they put more money into cops, but they don't put more money into our schools. And if you want to ask me, like, if the number one thing that we can do is if we actually funded our schools in the inner cities, then maybe we wouldn't have these problems. But most of our schools in the inner cities are poor. I've served in the inner city schools, and I've had to print out books on my printer at home because we didn't have books at the schools. So I mean, that's number one. Some of the reason these teenagers ain't got stuff to do is because, well, our system is failing them right there. And so we spend all this money on cops, and we can't put the budget in the hands of teachers. So, I mean, that's just one of many things that we could do to actually address the problems in the community. And then jobs. Like, I mean, let's be real. It's if the best job, run the B-roll of Amazon. Here's the dilemma. If the very best job in the community is the job that you have to urinate in a bottle, because Amazon does pay pretty good compared to all the other jobs in Atlanta. I mean, that's the other side of the story, is that these fellas are taking these jobs at Amazon because Amazon is paying a little bit higher, a lot higher than McDonald's. And so the fact is that if there were more jobs in our communities that actually paid a livable wage, then we would see a decrease in crime. Because I'm going to tell you the truth, man, I got to get you out here where I am. I can't say the name of the city of where I am, but let me tell you, they put a police. I live in a black. And bro, when I tell you it is black, it is Wakanda black. It is so black. It's so black that I spotted the gentrifiers the other day, and we're going to have a city meeting about this. We're going to have to talk about these white bankers who are coming into our neighborhood trying to seize our territory. But I digress. The point is that they put a police precinct in our city. And because there was not enough crime, they had to shut that police precinct down. And so what I'm saying is it has never been the case in everything that I've studied that the cops have ever made the situation better for black folks. What we had on Rebecca.
And like I said, I agree with you. I'm not saying that they're going to make it better, but my suggestion is, and again, I pose this to everyone in the chat. I see a couple of people said qualified immunity, which is good. Yes. What else can we do for neighborhoods, Ben, that are not like yours? Like, once you get here in the city where all of this crime is happening, what can we do? We got the water boys on every corner of this interstate getting off exit ramps. They getting so aggressive now. They throwing bottles at cars and hurting people. And I ain't talking about just white people either. They getting us, their own kind.
Yeah.
So what else can we do? Because then I'm going to be the first one to say it. The cops not doing anything about them either. They only get them when they see it or whatever. So that's my other question. What can we do?
So it's almost like the idea of more police is just like the low hanging fruit. You know what I mean? So instead of like Ben said, investing in more jobs in the community, more kind of mentorship programs, mental health programs from all the black people dealing with the years and years and years of abuse. You know what I mean? It's easy to say, more cops because that's the quickest answer.
That's the quick fix. Just the band-aid on a sinking ship.
But just, I mean, an example, in Baltimore, they have like the squeegee boys who be out on the corners when you at the light washing your windows.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years ago, they made it so much harder for them to just be out there making a couple dollars. They was trying to make them get business licenses and things like that. Instead of, these young men are not out in the street doing dirt. They trying to make a couple dollars, but you're gonna make it so much harder on them to do that. You're gonna force them into other avenues. So, like I say, just mentorship programs, more jobs, more counselors, different things like that. But police is always going to be the answer for the people who aren't in those communities and don't have see it day to day.
Absolutely. And you are absolutely right, Dwayne. Right. And I hope that once the local governments or whatever it is start getting this funding or whatever, that we start seeing councilmen, whoever it is, start lobbying for these programs in the community, because it is definitely needed. Definitely needed.
That's it. And the number one problem, we're gonna switch. Let's get ready to switch over to Like It or Not. I believe Rebecca Zora is here and ready to jump in the conversation. So if we need a song, Dwayne James, y'all figure out if we need a song or if we just roll an intro. I'll leave that up to y'all. I do want to say this: the funding that is needed to have those programs, right? The dollars that we need, because one of the number one problems I had when I worked for a community development agency down well, I can't give too many details. People start tracking me down, but I've worked for a nonprofit, and one of the number one difficult things to do is to get money from the city because of a lack of funding, and the budgets are always seriously tight. And the reason those budgets are so extremely tight is because so much is being spent on policing agencies across this country. Every city in the country spends more money on police officers than they do any other program, and that is just a matter of fact. And so the reason we can't get those programs that we need to actually improve the conditions in the black community is because so much is being spent on police. And now this legislation is saying that's not enough. Let's give 100,000 more police to the black community. Because can we all agree on one thing though? Before we go to this quick break, these cops ain't going to Josh Hawley. They ain't going to white neighborhoods. Facts. They're not going to wealthy black neighborhoods. They're not going to middle class, upper middle. Well, they might try to find their way in middle class neighborhoods, because that's where I am. I ain't in a rich neighborhood. I'm in a middle class neighborhood that the houses aren't bricked on all four sides. Y'all know how that is in Atlanta.
And then to make it even worse, Ben, they sending people into those neighborhoods who are going in with the attitude of looking down on those people that don't got it. You know what I mean? So they already looking at them like less than. So that just makes it even worse.
But the main point before we go to break is that if we're ever to get the money that is necessary to do those programs, James, that you're talking about, and Dwayne that you mentioned, and those are very necessary. If we're ever going to get those dollars, it's not by us giving more money to the police. It is certainly not by giving more money to the police. Let's take a break, and we got to come back. And there's a whole lot of other news happening. So DJ Exclusive, Dwayne, it's in y'all hands. Where we go from here, we'll be back with Like It or Not right after this.
Ooh, great conversation, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. And once again, the opinions of those on Like It or Not.
Well, you had me from the start.
Keep that in mind, y'all.
The way you said, all right, y'all, make sure you stay tuned. Man, I felt your energy.
Covered. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat room. Like, comment, flat, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. So something went wrong. Benjamin Dixon show is going down. Good morning, Nicole.
Now we're on completely different pages. Let's go where we were, where no one gets hurt. Baby, keep it right there. Don't you stress the flow. You're trying to pick the pace up. We should take it slow. Baby, keep your focus. Don't you make me change my mind. If you love me, baby, don't you switch up the vibe. Baby, don't you.
Riffing, not
baby,
yet.
Don't you. Baby, don't you switch up the vibe.
After conference calls, I'll be
baby, don't you.
I cannot wait to see.
Baby, don't you. Baby, don't you switch up the vibe. Will you take me on a trip? Always up and down and back and forth in merry-go-round. I just wanna get it right. When you go left, I'm stuck here feeling left behind. Something went wrong, the signals got crossed, and now we're going different directions. Let's go where we were, when no one gets hurt.
Lawrence, man. That's really good, and I appreciate you. So let's see what he said.
Baby, keep your focus. Don't you make me change my mind. If you love me, baby.
Fun fact. Astronauts are only allowed to use the Linux or Apple operating system. Again, fun fact. Astronauts are only allowed to use the Linux or Apple operating systems. Why, you ask? Because it's dangerous to open windows in space. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I am here all week long. Hope y'all enjoyed that, man. Make sure y'all stay tuned. Rebecca's joining us momentarily here. We'll get back to the show.
Baby, don't you, baby, don't you, baby, don't
Emily Clutton. There we go.
Baby, don't you, baby, don't you.
Y'all know y'all love it.
Don't you switch up the vibe.
Sonny, right? Leave me alone. Y'all told me y'all support my habit. It's gonna happen. See? Now, hey, good morning, y'all. KFZ 24/7. See, y'all getting on me. Y'all need to get KFZ. KFZ said, which bear is the most condescending? Amanda.
For me, there ain't no other. But you just couldn't be bothered.
I can't stand y'all.
You never knew what love is about.
Oh, wow.
It gets me 'cause there ain't no doubt.
I know, Goku. I know. Alicia, I love you too.
Thought I was nothing without you.
I didn't know that was one of your jokes. Marvin probably wasn't together. I'd be looking at these things on the internet and try to get the best ones. And you know, most times they're terrible.
You're no good, still I'm loving you. But I made up my mind.
Jayla Woods, good morning. DB for Justice Jacolas, good morning, man.
You better leave me alone.
Yes, Justice, make sure that you hit me up and make sure that you get me some video as well too. I do want to share that on the show so we can show the people what you do, man. You do some awesome, amazing stuff, bro, and everybody needs to see it and support. So make sure you get that to me, Justice.
You leave me alone. I'm gonna miss you.
Okay, I think we're coming back. I have to listen to my headphones.
You know I don't wanna fight ya, but there is something about ya that makes me wanna scream and shout. You left me hanging down and out. I think you never leave me.
Mark S. says affordable housing, educational investment, more mental health official responders. Yes, community-owned businesses will bring down crime. But Mark S., I freaking absolutely agree with you. Because right now it seems like these jokers don't know how to effectively handle mental health crises when they're responding to them. They just all over the place. And trust me, like I said, I don't agree with this bill. And no, I don't want these 100,000 goddamn cops in our neighborhood. We don't need them. We need reform. Deform, actually. Defund. How about that? All right, y'all. I think we are ready to begin, like it or not, even though it is. We ready, boys? Yeah. Okay. Even though it's 9:43 and Rebecca's ass is in here, y'all. Ready to like it or not is about to go down.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Hold on, let me get in frame.
Good morning and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth
and not care who doesn't like it. Hey, Bubba.
Bad hair day. Huh.
Yes. Well, it's been a bad hair day this whole week. I have no time to get my hair done.
David,
but
can you change my color to red so I can match? I ain't coordinating with the people today. I'm joking.
Well, if you was on screen, it wouldn't be a problem.
I can't let folks know where I can't let folks know where I am, man. I'm still going to work on that Amazon story, like regardless of whether people think it's important or not. So I'm trying to protect the workers because they're all really, really scared. But that's why I'm not on screen. But Rebecca,
being calling in from witness protection.
Right, Dwayne. Like this sucker can't go to the shed in the back of his property and just stream from there.
Well, no, because I'm actually not there. I'm in a different city right now, and I'm going to be traveling in a couple of different cities, starting with well, I'll tell you guys after we come back. But anywhere, I'm being honest with you, anywhere there is an Amazon delivery system, there's a story. But how you doing, sis? Glad you're here.
Good. I'm good. It's just been, yesterday I know that we spoke or the day before, and I told you I was supposed to take the day off yesterday because I needed some rest. Didn't get a chance to do that. So they didn't approve it.
Of course not.
Yeah, they didn't approve it. They was like, girl, if you don't bring that ass. So I ended up working overtime though, because I needed the overtime. But I keep sleeping through my alarm. That's been a thing. I keep sleeping through my alarm. Like I get one every now and then, but I don't know. It could be, I have to figure out what's going on, what's making me so sleepy. And it could be some new vitamins that I've started that probably got a little bit of that melatonin or whatever. Because I've tried, I have 10 new vitamins since I went to that party. I'm on teas and vitamins and all of this. And I am tired. You guys, I'm tired. I can't lie.
You took all them vitamins and you tired?
I'm tired.
What's the point of the vitamins?
Well, maybe the vitamins are doing what they need to do, but when nighttime comes, I think my body is just tired. I do the show in the morning and then I go straight into work. And sometimes I don't get off of work until super duper late. And then I guess I'm up for a minute. I take a shower and then meditate, pray, fall asleep. Scroll through the shade room for a second or two, and then I fall asleep.
Right. Hey, real quick, Truth the Dragon joke. Dear Mouth, grow up and solve your own problems. I'm sorry. Go ahead, y'all.
You got to say it slower though.
Yeah, you got to. I processed it, but give it to us again.
Good job, Ian. Dear Math, grow up and solve your own problems.
I get it. Dear Math, grow up and solve your own problems. I never was good in math.
Me neither. I failed statistics.
You don't need to hang out.
I was good.
Ben, hit me up after Ben.
We got too much of the same sense of humor. Go ahead, Rebecca. I'm sorry.
I was good where I passed with an A or a B, but that's because I'm a dork. But I'm not good in the subject. I'm good at retaining the information, but I wasn't good in the subject.
But what you said you weren't good, but you got an A or a B. Girl, where were you when I was in school?
I'm good at retaining information. The same thing with, quick story. There was a science class that I had to take, or biology or chemistry, or one of those words that are big. One of them. So I had to take one of those classes at FAM. And so I was just failing all up and through. That course. I mean, when I say failing, and the professor, pulled me to, office hours, pulled up, and I was like, hey, what's up? She was like, first of all, don't. And you've been missing a lot of my classes. You're coming in, you're coming in on time, but you're leaving early. Yeah. And because I had to make it across campus to get to the other class at B.L. Perry. Right. Man, Jones Hall to B.L. Perry is a far distance. Okay. So, anywho, she was like, Rebecca, if I'm going to tell you, if you pass with an A, the, what is it? Not the midterm exam, the big exam at the end of the year, right? If you pass this one, then I'll give you an A for the whole class. Because she looked at me, she's like, clearly you failing. So I studied, and I got an A++ on that, and I ended up passing. That's crazy. They should have never did me like that. Because what did I learn? Not a thing. But I learned to retain the information for that test. And
it took me getting it took me getting readmitted back into school and basically them saying, yeah, you don't have to take any math classes or anything. Just come back to school. We'll give you this degree, write a paper, and you're good. Okay, cool. Because I failed that crap 3 times. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Yeah, that was man. I was cool. Yes, man. Like regular math is cool, but when I got up to stats 2 and started doing all that stuff, I'm like, man,
well, listen.
Like, what's the point of just doing all this stuff? What I'm gonna do with that? And I haven't touched it or used it at all in my adult life.
Yeah,
James, let me tell you something, brother. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, as smart as I like to think I am, statistics kicked my butt too. I had to take it a couple times, so I'm not even gonna lie. Statistics.
Liberal arts was supposed to be like for the liberal arts is supposed to be the version of math, like when you dumb, so you on liberal arts.
No, don't get me. Listen, I'm good at math. I'm actually good at math.
Everybody was in my liberal arts class though. The smart kids that were like running for different things, and they was writing liberal arts with me.
It's just that statistics is just a different way of understanding. Like, statistics uses math, but it's a way of understanding the world. And I didn't have a professor who could explain it to me like that back then.
What school did you? What university did you go to?
No, that wasn't Bethune-Cookman. This is when I transferred to the PWI.
She's trying to be shady. She trying to be shady and say all this morning.
See, my calculus professor at Bethune-Cookman was dope as hell, Professor Douglas.
Bethune-Cookman wasn't a university then either. I'm sorry. So when I said university, I actually was asking about university. I wasn't coming from Bethune.
Our academic prowess was university level, though. Professor Douglas on that calculus 1, 2, and 3 was fire, right?
Yeah.
Now, I ain't gonna lie. I dropped out of differential equations because I was like, you know what?
Differential equations.
That's not for me.
Wow.
But all of that said, statistics still kick my butt after all that. So
yeah. Well, statistics is not something that we use. It's not something that we use in our day to day. I'm not using any of those formulas that they told me about. But what I am using is what the real life over there on the highest of 7 hills taught me, and I'm using that in my day to day. So, and I was on the debate team as well.
Sure, Hill Wildcats.
I know she's missing half of the experience. I'm going to be honest with you, folks. The best way to experience any of these episodes is with your in-ear headphones. Like, cover your ears.
I disagree.
Don't listen through a laptop. Really? What do you listen to us on, David?
Oh my gosh! If you play this in the car, Jesus, it sounds absolutely amazing, y'all.
Yeah,
I disagree. Look, I disagray.
Oh Lord Jesus! Now I'm about to agree with you too. Go ahead, Rebecca.
I really don't have anything. No, listening to it honestly for me, I know you guys like the sound experience, and I've heard it with the sound experience, but maybe I'm just a visual person. I mean, we just talked about how visual I learn. I could just look at something and be like, okay, this word matches with this letter. So once I see that on the paper, it's going to coincide. So when I see us on the screen, I don't know. I enjoy it. I watch, I kiki, I have a moment. I like to see Bubba's teeth. I can't wait till I see Benjamin's bald head. Right. I like to see the camaraderie visually, but I've listened to it and the quality is just as good, but I think I'm more of the visual person. But we have a whole spectrum. That means we have it for people who want to see us, and we have for people who want to hear us. So,
it has been tough.
The best way to enjoy the show is watching it live, so you can interact with all of the great people in the chat room. Wow.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I have to agree with everybody. What does that mean? I'm talking out all sides of my neck, like not both sides, but I'm talking out 4 sides of my neck.
Yeah, you phony. You can't be on
phony as hell.
Side.
I don't know which one but no, if I had a preference, I'm with James.
It would be through
listening to it in the car.
Yeah.
No, absolutely listening to it in the car is the best way to experience the show. That said, Rebecca, I don't want to take I know there's stories that we need to cover, but I also need to tell you about a Haitian brother that I met who sings and does politics. I said this brother brought me.
Atlanta?
I don't know where he lives, but I said
he fine.
I thought he. I mean, he a good looking brother. Yeah, because I was like, I was y'all mess. Let me finish my thought.
Sorry, man.
Y'all know my brain don't work like it used to. I don't even remember what we were talking about. What we talking? Never mind. The brother. I thought he invited me on because he liked my work. He was dropping all the hints. He didn't just come out and say Rebecca Azor. He was like, yeah, I'm Haitian too. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then he starts singing the lick. Ooh, and I said, oh, you sing too. And you do politics. You didn't bring me on here for me. You brought me on here to connect you with Rebecca Azor.
Well, let me find out.
For what show is it?
My brother, I think this show is the Pascal show. Pascal show. Pascal.
Yeah,
but he's engaged. I saw the interview. He's engaged, Ben.
He's engaged? Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah,
Never mind.
You missed it when he tried to mention it just to protect him.
Well, you messed up the moment. That's it.
Oh, so that's what you're saying, David, that Ben tried to put me out there on Front Street. Because remember, we talked about how Ben always does this. He tried to put me out there. I'm like your uncle trying to hook you up. Your big brother trying to hook you up. Political body in the streets. And what happened was the man won cashing because he's already
But he was
said we outside since waxed and waxed.
Hey, listen, let me tell you, he wanted to make sure I knew that he was Haitian and that he sang. And I'm like, oh, well, 1 plus 1 equals 10 to me. So I put all of it together. I saw through all of it. So anyway.
Ben, you could be definitely wrong. He probably just is Haitian and can sing.
And does politics.
I mean,
he looks like he's at least 6'2".
6'2", and he's engaged.
Oh, he's engaged. So we ain't gonna be disrespectful. Shout out to our sister. Shout out to our sister. Solidarity with you. My bad. I honestly did not hear that part of the question yesterday. That conversation. I missed that. Pascal didn't miss it. My fault. Pascal.
So speaking of
Pascal's equation is all I could think. Go ahead.
Pascal is not disrespectful, so he will not engage in activities outside of his marriage.
Well, anyway, he's gonna come on the show because he's a smart brother. I tell you that.
I'm ready. Right. But he's not like Andrew Cuomo, right?
Don't cheat.
Black men don't cheat.
That's the greatest transition in the history of transitions.
That was the best transition ever.
But New York Governor Andrew Cuomo had announced his resignation Tuesday after more than a decade in office, as reported by CBS News, as the state legislator pursued an impeachment inquiry and amid sexual harassment allegations. Cuomo, who gained national prominence during the COVID-19 pandemic, had been accused in a report by the state attorney general of sexually harassing 11 women, including staffers as well as people who did not work for his administration. In his speech, we can hear him saying that he says, "I think that given the circumstances, the best way I can help now is if I step aside and let government get back to governing." Let's take a listen to exactly what he said.
In my mind, I've never crossed the line with anyone. But I didn't realize the extent to which the line has been redrawn. There are generational and cultural shifts that I just didn't fully appreciate. And I should have. No excuses. This is one of the most challenging times for government in a generation. Government really needs to function today. Government needs to perform. It is a matter of life and death, government operations. And wasting energy on distractions is the last thing that state government should be doing. And I cannot be the cause of that. New York tough means New York loving. And I love New York. And I love you. And everything I have ever done has been motivated by that love. And I would never want to be unhelpful in any way. And I think that given the circumstances, the best way I can help now is if I step aside.
Oh, look! I'm like,
I was waiting for that hanging.
That was aside, and because I wasn't looking. See, again, I wasn't looking in Zoom, but I was just waiting, listening for him to continue.
To
but
say,
that
was a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it was. I'm like, and you resign, but anywho, I think that if it wasn't for the pressure of everybody and.
There's a lot of help the people who don't understand why he resigned. I think everybody should know, but maybe they don't.
He resigned because he's accused of harassing 11 women, sexually harassing 11 women. That this is this is the problem. Everybody is saying, why is he resigning? Why is he getting pushed? We had the president of the United States, Biden, even say he should resign before he resigned, right? So the conversation was at hand. We already had Lindsey Boylan, who I've covered already here on this channel, who worked under his administration before, who was one of the first, if not the first, to speak out about Cuomo and her experiences with him. And a lot of people said it's because she's trying to get an opportunity. She's running for office for a position locally. And they were saying this is why she's now coming out with that. Yet she's already spoken about this before and nobody paid attention. When she spoke about it, when I covered the story, everyone was saying that it is because she's running for something that she's speaking. And I posed a question in that particular story saying, y'all, we are in the year, and this was at the end of last year. And I was like, we're in the year of what? Me Too and Believe Women, right? And I get it. A lot of women may lie. A lot of women may not lie. But this is not the only woman that's coming forward.
Right.
She just happens to be the one that was brave enough to do it first and challenge him, especially in a time where Cuomo was lifted as Jesus, not Jesus Jr., as Jesus himself. In New York and how he handled COVID-19. Remember, they made him very presidential. Before we even got Biden, they were saying he should run for president. So he was already lifted, and they were doing these cute little scenes on CNN with Andrew Cuomo and Chris Cuomo doing the brotherly argument. And when one had got COVID-19, they were talking to each other and doing these great segments on CNN. And now Cuomo's not able to do Cuomo. Chris Cuomo's not able to do those segments anymore because he would have to call his brother out, in which he actually reportedly helped his brother, through the coach him through the situation. So, and this is reportedly, this was something that was going around a few days before he resigned. So I say all that to say, he is resigning because he knows he's lost the battle. This is not 1999. This is not 2003. This ain't 2005. We are in the year 2021. So even though a lot of people still aren't comfortable with the idea of believing women, now when investigations happen and it is proven, it is proven that he sexually harassed 11 women. Now they have to move forward with stuff because people are going to say, wow, you're not obeying the law, right? We're going to pressure them. We're going to be out in the streets. A lot of people are going back and saying, well, what about Donald Trump? Here's my thing about that. They both.
That's right.
Not just, but what about? They both need to be reprimanded for their actions. So
wait a minute, Rebecca Zor, could you just say, what about they both? Do that again. My God.
Right.
No, I can't, Ben. I can't. It's just the one time.
That's the word. That's the word.
Because people want to go to the what about isms. People want to always do that and say, if you look online, if you look on Twitter right now, there's a conversation between people who look like us and people who don't look like us, people we can see right through. They are having conversations all over, Dionne Warwick's internet. And they're saying that Cuomo is here because of Donald Trump.
Huh?
Yes.
How does that make sense?
Make it make sense. So in the shade room, because I told y'all, if you're scrolling through the shade room to see what our people be talking about, specifically ours, and their conversation is, I don't believe it. They setting them up. You
the
see what they doing
conversation is like? Wait. The shade room's conversation is like that?
Go onto the shade room, click in the comment section, and
on behalf of this dude?
Yeah, on behalf of the Cuomo, for New Yorkers.
New Yorkers, oh God.
Literally, it's the same way that people in Atlanta will protect T.I. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know about all that, man.
Shaved, you almost choked.
People in the comment section also from Atlanta will protect T.I. and say, man, he ain't do all that. They always want to bring a black man down because he was trying to buy CBS. And, they always try to put that out there. And they don't beat the case. But anyway, I say all of this to say I say all this to say it doesn't matter who you are. I know we talked the other day about people in power and how they can literally slide by these things, like literally make it all the way back to their house and sleep good, while the person that they harassed or assaulted or or mentally abused or provided a toxic environment for can't sleep, has to go to therapy, can no longer have certain relationships because of the trauma in their life because of this person, and some are suicidal. So a lot of this happens, and yes, Donald Trump, but not what about? It's him too. Like, they all need to be reprimanded for their actions. And that I think now he's reached the a place where he says, I have to resign. I think now he realized, okay, my city is still going to rock with me. My state is still going to rock with me because a lot of them know what I did. Even Joe Biden spoke and he said, it's a shame because he really did a good job as governor. And these people are still speaking for him, even though Joe Biden did call and say this man should definitely resign. He now is stepping down, but I don't think he's, I don't think just stepping down is enough. Sure. What else happens to somebody who is accused of sexually harassing 11
serial
women?
Sexual harasser.
What else happens? Well, you know what? We've seen what happened with Donald Trump. It's not what about. It's look what happened with Donald Trump. People in power. It doesn't matter if you're on the right or if you're on the left. Somebody's going to be covering for you. Somebody's going to be trying to protect you. Except for this attorney general who was the one that was like, hell no, what I found out in my investigation. Right?
Yeah.
James.
I don't know her name. But what she was like, what I found out in my good old investigation, that this man sexually harassed 11 women. Okay? And so what we're not going to do is keep him in place. What we're not going to do is act like this didn't happen. So his resignation is effective in 14 days. Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, I hope I'm saying her name correctly, will take over. So in the first time in history, because of a man sexually harassing 11 women, that included his staffers and people who didn't work for him, New York will have their first lieutenant governor as a female. A woman, Kathy Hochul.
That's a lot.
Yes, Letitia. Letitia James is her name. Letitia, I see it right here. Letitia, black woman. That's how Ben says it. Black woman.
Yes. She wasn't gonna let a woman of God was not gonna let this man off just because everybody's like, "What about Donald Trump?" They both. Yeah. That's so they both. Taking that from you, Rebecca. They both.
They both. Like ER, but Melissa DeRosa, who was Cuomo's top advisor, she was mentioned more than 180 times in the report. She resigned also, but on Sunday night. They were saying that she was assisting him in trying to hide what was going on. So I don't know. Maybe her resignation included a stipend that can hold her down for holding it down, like POP. And I think also for Cuomo himself, you think his resignation ain't coming with something that is a safety net for him? It ain't going to be a little stipend of a little money here and there for 2 months. No, it's going to be something where he's comfortable and he's good. And he's still going to get respect, especially in New York. That's the problem. But what I want people to understand is it doesn't matter who it comes from. It doesn't matter who it comes from. It is still harassment. It is still assault. It is still traumatizing. I don't care if it's a person in power. I don't care if it's a family member. I don't care if it's a stranger. It could still have the same effect.
That's right.
Abuse is abuse. It's abuse. It's abuse. No matter who it comes from. And you should get reprimanded all the way down. I don't care from what level you are, from where your money come, old or new, young, none. Everybody should be reprimanded for something like this.
Everybody can get these hands.
Yeah. No, and everybody can get these hands too. But his hands hopefully will be behind his back as he heads to jail. If we see that. And
he
mind you,
more than hands. Where he going?
Mind you, Cuomo was loved. Do you remember that?
They love that man.
You remember? I'm talking about during the beginning of the panoramic.
he was like top tier. Like I'm like, damn, Cuomo doing his thing, and now you're like, you little piece of crap.
They done changed. They done gave this man his own sexual identification, bro. He got his own sexual identity. Cuomo-sexual was a thing. Remember that? That's how much
Cuomo-sexual.
No, I didn't hear that, and that's stupid.
No, literally. There's a thing on the internet. They was like, oh, I'm in love with him. I'm a Cuomo-sexual. Okay.
Yeah. Listen, you see, people are so dumb. They say things like this. I apologize. They are so dumb. They say things like this. Listen, who's gonna pay it? Who's gonna pay it? They say things like this, and then they move forward. Look, it doesn't even age well. I'm a Cuomo-sexual, and it turns out that man is a sexual harasser, a serial sexual harasser. So are you still a Cuomo? It don't age well. People don't never get nothing right. And it's because what they do is what we do as a people here, we will look at something, make it hot, and be like, yes, queen, yes, king, yes, that's a real president. Real presidential. Yes, for that outfit. And then all of a sudden, y'all, when stuff goes left, it'd be like, you see, that's why people can't. This is why people gotta do better. This is why we gotta protect our own. Cuomo didn't do that. Or it'll be Cuomo, no, he did that. And that's why we always knew we can't protect, like we gotta protect ourselves because that white man, it would be one or the other. People are so fickle. That's why I've learned, especially when I go in that Twitter space, because they'll create things like Cuomo-sexual. They'll create things like, you see what happened with
Randy Rainbow. Randy Rainbow created Cuomo-sexual. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rebecca.
And see, I'm going to move past that because, see, that's another conversation for another day. I know,
right, Rebecca.
But yeah, because I would let Bubba really handle that one. But
Randy Rainbow,
another day. Go ahead,
another day. Because that conversation, it's all crazy.
In the name of, come on, Rebecca.
Let me tell you. But no, so I mean, like honestly, it's like we saw what happened as the Me Too movement, was gaining some kind of push, and it only happened when a white woman said Me Too and tried to hijack the movement of Tarana Burke, Black woman. Nobody paid attention to this Black woman and what happened with her. And she created this Me Too movement in 2008. But somebody else said Me Too, knew about this movement and said Me Too.
Yeah.
And moved forward, and they were able to get Harvey Weinstein. They were able to get everybody else. And the white women, too, were saying, what's that man's name? Bill Cosby touched me. Oh, Bill Cosby is straight to jail. Next day, baby, expedited. Okay?
Expeditiously.
Broke the rules.
Yeah. But when those Black women were saying, this happened to me, it's almost like it's unbelievable. So I'm happy that we're in a time where these men in power, regardless of color, can be looked at. But I want more than accountability, because I don't want people to think that him making a statement, getting the opportunity to make a statement, is accountability. Because that's not accountability. He harassed. Letitia James, Attorney General, said in her investigation, she found that he harassed 11 women, sexually harassed 11 women. That's the problem. And everybody who was coming at me all them months ago, back in the good year of 2020. I don't know whose year that was. Satan for sure. But back in that year of 2020, everybody who was coming for me, y'all, that was saying, "Oh, Rebecca, you're wrong on this one. Lindsey Boylan, all the way from the Twitter space." And I've learned, 2020 did teach me that, to not really to not go back and forth with your children on the internet. But you guys deserve to give Lindsey Boylan an apology, because all of that pressure, all of that, like all of that she went through, all of that, people say that you're a liar. Imagine if somebody told you or your child or your mother or your sister or your brother or your cousin after they told their story that they were lying, even though they were trying to move on with their life and create a career for themselves. Because they were trying to do that, they're lying. You can't believe them. Imagine yourself in those shoes.
Right.
So, you know what? Good riddance to Cuomo. Mind you, I mean, his swag was okay. Everybody was making it seem like he was damn Chris when Chris told Don Lemon on CNN, okay, that he got some black in him.
Right. Your ass said that.
I forgot about that.
That's what we do, and that's the problem. We can't hype it up like that. Y'all start forgetting about the policies. Y'all start forgetting about that man hiding COVID results. Y'all start forgetting about all of that. Y'all start forgetting that he opened New York prematurely. Y'all start forgetting those things. And now he's so fine, and he's a presidential man because he made a statement. Y'all real good on loving and holding on to, Kamala Harris wore them chucks and them pearls. Yeah, no.
Girl, what else she did?
And you know me.
Nothing.
Because when Michelle went to the when Michelle went to the inauguration, I was like, yes, come through with the burgundy. Yes, come through with the hair that is laid. Yes, come through, because ma'am was fierce. But at the end of the day, if I didn't like Michelle for another reason, I would say, yes, come through. But sis, you still owe us for X, Y, and Z. But I got no issues with Michelle Obama. But,
some smoke you don't want.
I'm about to say, okay, girl.
But Kamala Harris is like, I can't support somebody that says there's no racism in America and turns around and stamps a protection order, legislation that protects Asians for hate crime, which tells us that there is racism in America. So I got problems with that stuff. I got problems with that stuff. I got a problem with us gassing up folks for being mediocre in their work. In their work. Not in how they look, but in their work. Like, people could be fly all day, and I had to learn that for myself. I used to be that person. I'd be like, yes, 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 but you being fly, how is that helping me? You being loved by so many, how is that helping us when you haven't even done any of the work that you promised us, and you've been in office for 25 years.
40 something for Joe Biden. 40 something for Joe Biden.
So, anyways, I'm sorry for running my mouth. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You said a word today.
And look, though, only reason why they was on Cuomo so hard, I was about to say something else, and I have to remember where we was, because Ben's cousins yes. Only reason they was on Cuomo so hard is because from what he was claiming that he did during the pancake, that's all. And then he was like, oh my God, Cuomo. He stopped Panda. He stopped the Panda from coming.
Yeah, right. And I probably was involved in that conversation. I probably was involved in that conversation for a day or two until I was like, hold on. Y'all telling me that this man is hiding numbers so he can open up his state?
Right.
People out here, wait. That's not presidential. That's not presidential at all. So I had to gather myself and my thoughts.
And govern yourself accordingly.
Business. Yes. Yeah. And start understanding, this isn't presidential. So let's not go off of popularity. Let's not make this like we do Instagram, like we do Twitter, and whatever we like and we go with. Nobody has a mind of their own. I feel like social media does that too, where nobody has a real mind of their own to go and check it out, to go investigate, to go see more about this person, this thing. They just look at that first line of a viral post and be like, that's it. That's what I think. And that's hindering us from really being educated as we should on certain subjects and on certain people.
Well, I want to see if he gets actually faces criminal charges, because that's the other side of that accountability that you're talking about, because resigning is not accountability. That's going on vacation.
Yeah. Shoot. Let me tell you something. If my job were to let me go or allow me to be like, this my 2 weeks, I'm walking away and I'm going to get unemployment. I'm going on vacation every day. You see what I'm saying? if I did something wrong at my place of employment, I would definitely, if they told me, just put your 2 weeks in. Oh, say no more. After what I did to you guys, I'm just going to put my 2 weeks. Y'all, I'm going on vacation. Who holding down my spot? Hey, I kept it nice and warm for you. I'm out of here. It is a vacation. It's like you're not getting any reprimand for, blowing up this. Like you not getting, nah.
He at home eating good. He at home cutting a steak and just oh man, this man went on getting ready to go on vacation after he does about 2 weeks of hell and havoc because he's going to read.
Oh no, he's not going to be in New York. He's not going to be in New York. He's going to be out of there like probably yesterday.
You think so? You don't think he's going to hang around and tidy up?
His third home. No. He got made for that. He's probably in his third home.
No, I mean tidy up anything he needs to make sure nobody gets a hold of. But I digress.
No. He had people doing that for him already.
He ready to go.
Oh,
he over in Cancun.
He probably already out of there
over
now.
in Cancun with Ted Cruz.
Yeah. No, I don't think he messed with Ted Cruz though. He can't be seen with Ted Cruz.
It's bad for
he's one of those people that don't.
Resume.
He still don't like Ted Cruz, but he's doing similar things. But he still don't like Ted Cruz.
Right.
Oh man, Rebecca, me and James.
Ben, are you yawning?
Did he just?
Y'all know I be up for like 2:00 in the morning. Y'all know I can't sleep.
Then so do we, and we really rotate.
No, what I'm saying, no, I haven't gone to sleep yet. My bad if I yawn. I've been on here for two. I'm sorry, I yawned.
Y'all yawned in the microphone. Yeah, Rebecca.
Not everybody.
Not everybody gets to come on. Yeah, I showed
right,
you.
Rebecca, we've been on here since Jesus woke up and started walking around again.
Jesus walked.
Jesus walked. That's all right. That's why I came on and gave y'all what needed to be given.
Oh man.
And
that's but what about they both? That need to be on a t-shirt.
They both.
BOF.
BOF. They both.
Oh my goodness, we got 10 minutes left. Rebecca, can you split the difference or listen to what me and James were talking about before you came on and help us navigate through it?
Nope, I was gonna go straight into Black Joy. I'm just kidding.
Rebecca said she ain't even getting in the middle of that.
She said my name is Bennett and I ain't in it.
I am not in it.
My name is Wes.
Attention in the chat. She was like, "Nah, stay right on out of it."
I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move towards
Rebecca
this
was all in it. She
of the playground. So
they were looking for Rebecca's commentary. So
I know
that on another day.
Yeah,
that's fine. We already got 9 minutes left. Fine, Rebecca. What you got on Black Joy?
Yeah, so I don't know, David, pull it up.
Dwayne has 2 clips.
Yeah, Dwayne, drop it.
Everybody passing the hot potato.
Yeah, hot potato.
Okay, ain't they though? Wait a minute,
we already played this. This was Soul Monday.
We played this one already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
No, that's my bad.
That's what happens when you miss work too, though.
No, I gave it to him.
This one is good.
He's saying excuse?
Yeah.
Oh. I gotta go pick up my kids. It's time. I didn't see that one.
Patootie self has all of the great manners.
Yes, in the world.
And he said, excuse, first he was being nice. And then he was like, I said excuse. Okay, now they're chasing me. Then he started going crazy. These parents need to stop harassing these kids, though. You see your kid getting scared. You need to coach your kid how not to be afraid of it. I've seen more than
kids teach each other how to be afraid.
TikToks. No, these parents are recording their kids in full fear.
Gotcha.
I think like 10 TikToks of these kids. Like, this one girl, she was catching some fish. I believe it was with her father, uncle, or grandfather. It was something like that. He was teaching her how to fish in the lake. She done caught a fish and she's like, help me. He's way in the back recording her. You got it, baby. She help me. He's like, you got it, baby. You got just. And then she started feeling the reel go crazy. The fish done jumped onto the grass. She done ran off and gave it to the stream. And he said, no, come reel it in. She's like, no, you do it. You do it. She was frustrated. She was mad. She had to be about 8 years old. But these people are just literally recording their kids' horror on TikTok and stuff. And I'm like, this is terrible. How cute is it that he was using all of his manners, and no matter how many times he said, "Excuse me," that mama or daddy was still recording. Like, look at them ducks and look at him.
No, you got to teach the kids how to problem solve and figure stuff out on their own sometime.
And how to monetize trauma.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. And no, see, Dwayne, that's why God is giving you what He's giving you, because it's not gonna work like that.
Who you telling?
But that's what I thought, Dwayne.
My daughter that's what I thought. Same way as that kid in the picture, because my wife is more scared of birds than that little boy was.
Oh yeah, it's true. They do get it from parents though. My best friend, her son always screams when he sees like a bug. He'll just be going crazy, and she's like, Elias, you got to stop doing that. Yet when I'm on the phone with her, a bug comes through. She's like, oh no, ow. And she's screaming too. And then her mom does the same thing. I'm like, it's true. It does come from like it. The kids gonna only do what you show them. They probably might be scared of only what you're scared of too, or they might eat only what you eat. They might think that things that are nasty that they've never tasted because you don't like it. So it may come from parents too. So yeah, showing kids, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna be a parent that is a sucker for like, okay, baby, come here. The ducks are just, and it sounds a little Karen-ish, but I'm going to be that mom that's like, listen, the ducks are not going to hurt you. Well, I'm scared of the ducks too, but that's going to be my way of us working through our fear. I don't want my kid to know that I ain't no bitch, like that. So.
Jesus Christ. What the?
I knew that would catch your attention because y'all was just getting a little too quiet for me. Oh, yes.
Good night, everybody. We'll see y'all tomorrow. So,
yeah, let's drop another black joint.
Oh, merciful Lord.
That's all I got.
That's all we got.
I heard there was two more.
Dwayne, I'm about to say Dwayne got two more.
I just dropped two more for
give me a second.
All right.
Oh my goodness, I wasn't ready.
Buster, I wasn't ready either, man. It's like, hey. Me and David was trying to get the joint together. Right.
I saw Bubba texting. I know what's his name won't listen to me. Dave was probably like, when is Rebecca going to be done talking? And Ben,
he was talking to me. Look,
he's doing. Ben probably stretched out like this, like, damn, it ain't 6:30 yet. That's what I was feeling.
Rebecca,
I'm looking at this clock. It's 10:26. I got 4 minutes.
Damn, that's messed up.
3 minutes and 26 seconds counting before I go to sleep. Oh man,
here we go.
African American gestures 2. Period. Caucasian encounter 1. Caucasian encounter 2. Combo pack. I doubt the validity of what you're saying. You know, you a damn lie. Nah, see fins. Oh, that's that one. Get thee away, Satan. You know what? You all right. Mm-hmm. Comment for more.
That's Rebecca all day. I can just see it. All of them.
All right, I played them backwards, so here's part 1.
Hello, and welcome to African American Hand Gestures. The giggle suspender hand flap. That's that shit wrist flick. WTF, windmill. You got the wrong one. You got the right one. Conversation illustration. The silence request. Zip it.
Zip it.
Distress clutch. Can also be done with 2 hands. The roast.
The roast.
Dreams and nightmares. Guessing game.
The roast is
dreams and nightmares.
What are
roast
those?
Is universal.
Like, what is this?
What is that?
Oh man, what are those? Oh,
what is that on your head right now?
What is that?
Okay.
Like, what is that?
Being old, big headed and stuff.
Like, look, what is this? What's happening here?
What is this?
Rebecca, why is your
Go ahead, Ben. What's up?
No, it's not.
What's up?
I'll leave you alone. Because I'm looking at sis over here with these hand gestures like you got the right one and you got the wrong one. It's just where the hand is positioned that makes the difference.
It's the hand.
The
like,
silence.
What you talking about?
You can pull it. You can pull it and be like this because you're taking away the voice.
Spirit, you're pulling the whole
voice.
life out of
You're
them.
moving it, or you can just be like this, like just hush.
James, every time a black woman does that to somebody, they lose a little bit of their energy level. They just get stunned. Like when they
do.
They pulling your soul is mine.
The gays do it worse. When the gays get the started and get the hand moving. See, sweetie, what you not gonna do is get out of my face like that and start going ham. What I do is like, oh, okay.
This is why me and the gays get along so much because I talk with my hands.
Look at Rebecca hands right now.
It's just and I do this with my nephews too. My nephews and my niece. When they start getting out of pocket, getting out of line, I'm like, hold on, wait a second, give me a moment. Look, because I'm taking it. You're not going to give me. I'm taking the moment, but I'm going to tell you to give me a moment.
You're reclaiming your time.
Now. Because you don't say now. You say now.
Now.
Oh my
Look
God.
and go. All right, then. Bye. Okay. I got it. Bye.
Rebecca, it's always a pleasure.
Terrible.
We have filibustered all the way to 10:30, you guys. It is Wednesday. I need to rest my eyes. I need to throw this wig to the side and just lay down on my couch for a good 10 minutes.
Just take the hat off. It's coming right with it.
Dwayne, I was just about to say, Dwayne, do you have that beautiful bean footage of the lady from the airport when she took that hat off?
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
I wasn't prepared.
Because it went, no, this is glued down today.
What about that praise and worship footage?
This is glued down. Like the wig is down. The wig is down today. But
Rebecca.
I am,
Yeah, I was on your head top in the comments earlier.
You better be. You hear Ben?
What happened?
Ew, I'm such a. Let me stop. I'm
You hear everything, James?
What was being said? Because no, the wig is down today. The wig is good, but what was being said?
He said,
Look, what was
I
that?
said you like that lady in the airport. If you take that hat off, the wig going right with it.
Talk about the video. I said the video.
It's not gonna come. It's not gonna come off. It's here. The wig is here.
Oh, Rebecca.
Rebecca Azor, put that hat back on your head.
No,
Put that hat back on.
fine. The wig is fine. It's just I didn't comb it. Like it's glued down.
Oh my goodness. This is an adventure every single morning, isn't it?
Every morning. But Ben said something about that praise and worship video, your dancing. So
did anybody find
I digress?
No, do not play that on this channel. I advise you to cease and desist. A cease and desist.
You better not let me get my hands on that video.
No, leave. Okay.
I said that today on Wednesday. It is August 11th at 10:31 a.m. I asked that none of the producers acquire any video of me doing any performance activity outside of Like It or Not on this channel. Thank you.
Now you know we got to play it.
Okay.
For the audience, just go to Rebecca's Instagram. Just go to her.
We won't play it. It's off of my Instagram.
Yeah, y'all go follow her on Instagram. In
It's
exchange for watching the video, go follow her on Instagram.
I hear you, Rebecca, but once it hit the internet, that thing is there forever. So, you know, you can't.
Yeah, and that's why I'm going to delete it as soon as we get off.
You can't do nothing about what people do with it after you've already put it out to the world.
Just ask Amazing Grace.
I can attest to that. I can attest to that.
Bubba and Bandit.
Well, since I was searching for a clip that you did with Nina Turner, and and then you praise dancing, giving God all. I mean, you were giving God your best, sister. You were using the fresh oil.
Whoa. I don't know what you just said, Ben, but we
Anointing.
are at time now.
Don't act brand new. You had anointment. You had anointment in that video.
Thank you so much for your services. We have reached the end of the show, Like It or Not. I love you guys. It is Wednesday. Go talk to somebody who is a woman and be amazing to that person. I say a woman because it's Women Crush Wednesday. So women all over the world, it is your day. I don't know if one of my dudes is gonna buy me lunch today, but let's see. Because that's what I need a nap and I need tacos. I need something good. Like I need something good to fulfill my life right now. But I love you guys. Mean it.
You know what?
We don't. We
James,
do not.
play some music.
Yeah, I'm out of here. That was it for me. Bye, y'all.
Love y'all.
Bye, y'all. Love y'all. Mean it. Man, we appreciate y'all for coming through this morning and kicking it with us. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure on your way out the door that you hit the like button, you share, comment, subscribe, whatever you get a chance to there. And we will see y'all in the morning. And okay, we'll see y'all in the morning. Love y'all, meaning deuces, y'all.